You do your regular thing, man. Just do your regular thing.
No, we getting it moving, baby. You know what I'm saying? We popping this off. I don't know if there are people who are actually able to view the stream because I got another stream going, and I don't know if it's going to end because of what I'm doing now.
It
I mean,
should, because I can see you. I can see you. So
okay. I'm just trying to let me make sure. Can you guys hear out there? I mean, I think that they're
yeah, I
there.
can see
Okay.
it. I got it up so I can see it.
Okay, cool. All right, man. You know what time it is, man. I'm GG. You tuned in to the Green Gorilla channel. It's the place where black men can express themselves freely, straight up, no chaser. And today I'm, visited by none other than the Black Gnostic Speaks. Good day to you, sir. We already been talking in the back room, but what's cracking again?
I'm here with with one of my mad professors. Okay, one of my
That's right.
favorites. A fellow Gemini and philosopher and extraordinaire. You know, like I
Yes,
said I
sir.
never
Yes,
met a
sir.
pre-Socratic black philosopher in my life, so I'm honored to know one.
Well, here I am, baby. I'm a Heracletian. I'm a Heracletian. Many people won't get that, and it's pretty arcane. It's not something you run across every day. But I just believe that the universe is in flux. Everything is protean. Everything is shifting and changing. Guys, and gals want permanency. They want what's stable. But a feature of the universe is that it is just as precarious as it is stable.
Hmm.
So and that's an ontological, metaphysical claim as opposed to some sort of political claim that I'm making. I'm saying the essence of being is such that being in and of itself is in flux.
Influx, yes.
And you look at the universe, there's evidence for that, man. Like, I mean, shit is coming in and out of existence. The sun seems to be a permanent fixture in the sky, but eventually this motherfucker will explode in a supernova and all life on Earth will cease to exist. So all
Yep.
your cares, your desires, your pains, your joys won't fucking matter one scintilla.
So live.
And that's Lovecraftian right there. It's like, it's like, okay, well, what does it all mean? Well, what does it all mean
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
grand scheme of the universe? You know?
Mhm. Each
So
each each day is precious.
each day, live life to the fullest because you never know when God's going to pull it in the
Hmm.
blink of an eye faster than a speeding bullet, you
Hmm.
know?
Yep.
And so, just enjoy your life. A lot of guys, man, so panicked and worried. And I've been in that state too myself a few times here and there. But man, enjoy yourself, man. Even if it's a fucked up world we live in, it's absurd. But that's the centerpiece of existentialism, actually. Given the absurdity of the world you live in, do
Hmm.
you want to go on? And if
Yeah.
so, will you go on in good rather than bad faith? Because you can deceive yourself, and choose to not choose, but you're condemned to be free according to existentialism. You choose all the time, right? Or you slip into bad faith and you let others make choices for you,
Yeah.
So yeah. But anyway, we're gonna talk
Yep.
about this Femcel stuff today, man. And you sent the article to all the PhDs, and I was wondering, like if any of these guys were going to bite the line related to this, this whole thing about femcells. And
Yeah.
none of
Dr.
them did,
No, Dr. Thunder actually right at the next day. Dr. Thunder actually did a video on it.
oh, really?
Yes. Yeah. He jumped on it right away. Well, he's dealing with the stuff because he's teaching at Ohio State, so he's dealing with it.
Right. So, uh, most of the guys in this space pretty much, they're worried about like their own plight and, what their own life is like in relation to their relationship with women, dating and relationships and marriages and, all that kind of thing. They don't really take the time to think about things from an alternative perspective. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
Hmm.
we pretty much as men assume that women, even ugly, fat, and just regular women have access to sex.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
mean, that's just common conception that we have. Like,
Yeah. That is true.
they have the capacity to have sex when they want it, even if
Hmm.
they're like not the most desirable women.
Hmm.
But perhaps maybe that's not true.
It well. The thing is that It is. It is true. It is true, and it's not true at the same time. Because there's actually years ago, maybe a couple of years ago, they actually did an interview with one of the main incels. It was male, and here in America, access to sex, you know, if you want to get down to the realist standpoint of it, you can get sex whether you pay for it, whether you find an ugly girl, whether you go across the border, get on a flight, you can get sex. Okay. Thing is, sex doesn't mean the same thing to incels and femcels that it means to the say previous generations. It's not access to. What they really mean is access to desire or relationship, or the relationship that they desire, and that's the issue.
Okay, so let's let's take a look at the article, man, and
Okay, all
kind of
right,
just go through it.
go through it. Yeah,
Yeah, and then see what we get out of it. Okay.
because the
Shout
language
out
is
to everybody out there in the chat. I see y'all, man. Much love and support to all of y'all, man. Thank you for joining the Green Gorilla Show today. I started without all the fanfare and the intros and stuff like that, but it's the Green Gorilla Show anyway. You know how we do it over here, man. Straight up, no chasers. So let me get that going, man.
okay.
Let me get this thing going.
Oh, they had to have the fancy stuff with Green Gorilla. It's not a Green Gorilla Show without the fancy wipes and special effects. Go ahead and make it full screen.
Yeah, let me go ahead and get this going here. There we go.
There you go.
All right. So yeah, this article here is basically entitled "What Do Female Incels Really Want?"
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now I'm assuming that everybody knows what an incel is.
Mm-hmm.
It means it's short for involuntarily celibate. Okay. And by the way, a lot of men in the manosphere, both white and black, have been characterized as incels. I've heard that like epithet and that that kind of moniker thrown around.
Mm-hmm.
Namely that, the reason that these guys are saying the things that they're saying and have created the space that they've created is because they don't have a rapport with women. They don't have the ability to have access to sex. And I call bullshit on that. I just don't think that's... I don't know what it is in the white manosphere, but I know for a fact, as far as myself, I'm not in the manosphere because I don't have access to sex.
Right. Yeah. Well,
It
that's
has
true.
nothing at all to do with it.
That's true. And I think the vast majority of guys that are in the manosphere have access to sex, some sex. It might not be what they want, but they do have access to it.
Yeah, I think more than anything else, the problem we got, coupled with, in the black manosphere, is what I'm referring to. Because I do care about the white manosphere to the extent to which their viewpoints overlap with ours.
Right.
Okay. I do think that that's important and significant. However, when it comes to race, we're dealing with an entirely different constellation of issues.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Related to men not being able to enjoy, what they desire to enjoy, which is some sort of, romanticized vision or version of patriarchy, which you talked today about, by the way. I've been kind of keying into the conversation here and there all day.
Yeah. Yeah. You see here the opposite side other than the feminist side.
Right.
About patriarchy. It's an interesting dynamic, man, about how the definition of it, even amongst the scholars, the definition of patriarchy is pretty fluid, depending on who you talk to.
Yeah, there's no, homogeneous definition of it. You know what I'm saying? Like some, objective, universal way to define what it is. But, you can look at it macroscopically in society, or you can look at it microscopically in relation to relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I think, and this is why I gave, that talk about the Custody of Infants Act. Right. That, to me, in and of itself, that was the death knell of patriarchy in the Western world.
Mm-hmm.
In relation to a microscopic understanding of it.
Yeah.
Like, if you don't have ownership of the children or legal, rights to the children in their formative years, then you're not a patriarch.
Yeah, I would agree.
You can't be a patriarch.
I would agree.
Now, if you with a woman and she enables you to, exist in a condition in which you actually have stewardship of your children,
Mm-hmm.
you have a semblance of patriarchy, but it's not really patriarchy, because if there's a disagreement, then whose will is going to be the will that stands as the law?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Because that's the argument I actually use, even with what some people feel is the patriarchal movement, which is the Nation of Islam. Okay, and I said, okay, what's the pattern? What's the difference between you guys and regular black folks, right? I
Right.
said, in Islam, Eastern Islam, outside America, the children belong to what? The man. Okay, 100%. I said, in the black community, Nation of Islam, do the children belong to you, or can that woman take her children? They had to be quiet. I said, now, tell me something different. So what's your
I mean,
definition?
but reality is what it is. If it's
Mm,
the case that the legal system and the family court system is established under the idea of, first of all, the tender years doctrine in the best interest of the child,
mhm.
if that's the common law precedent, what the fuck is the patriarchy argument? Like, you don't have it. I've been here damn near 2 years, okay, in
Mhm.
this space.
Mhm.
I've been trying to tell you guys this shit for I don't know how long. I first, talked about it in reference to they have the ring of Gyges.
Yes.
They have the power. And it's not because they're powerful, it's because the legal system and the policies are set up to benefit them in relation to access and stewardship to children. It
Yeah.
is what it is.
Mhm.
And why would they forego that power? Out
They
of the
wouldn't.
kindness of their fucking hearts? Why would they forego the power?
Yep. Yep. The power is not given away; it's taken.
And so, there are a lot of white guys who are disgruntled with this shit, because parental alienation is a thing.
Mhm.
And this is the thing, right? The Custody of Infants Act was put into practice in order to counter parental alienation of women.
Mm. Oh, okay.
That was the implied, reason for the act in and of itself,
Okay.
right? So the woman made the appeal to the court. She was like, "Well, I don't have access to my children, and my husband was an abusive man."
Mm.
And she cried, and she wrote a pamphlet and spread it around England and shit like that. I forget the woman's name, okay? But all you got to do is look up the Custody of Infants Act, 1839. Look up the woman's name who basically wrote the pamphlet. It should pop up. It shouldn't be that difficult to find out who this woman is, all right?
Mm.
But she made an appeal to the judges in England, and they fucking just basically changed patriarchy right there. The whole practice of patriarchy was upended in that fell swoop, in one fell swoop.
Mm. Mhm.
But oddly enough, and you will see if you agree to fuck with me Monday, and we have this show Monday,
Mhm.
and I'll talk about mothers' rights and John Locke, you'll see how
Mhm.
the thinking of a person like John Locke helped lead to that decision.
Mm. Yeah.
His philosophical musings about politics contributed towards a particular political stance that enabled that kind of thinking to become paramount in that culture, and to basically undo patriarchy.
Mm. Yeah.
Because let me just give it to you short, and then we can get to this Femcel shit.
Okay.
The short thing of it is, monarchical government in England was based upon the patriarchal argument.
Right.
And of course, rights theory came into precedence in order to throw off the yoke of monarchical government. So the case had to be made that the divine right of kings is not something that we have to follow. It's an erroneous interpretation of biblical scripture, or of scripture. Right? So that's what the argument you know, it's what these guys in the Enlightenment were thinking. Like, we have to change the way the people are interpreting scripture and who's supposed to be ruling. And ultimately, they were like, every man is the governor of himself by nature, not one big man who has the right to rule over all other men, right?
Okay.
And so when that kind of way of thinking became paramount, that opened the door up, one could argue, for women to make the same kind of claims. Like, well, if it's the case that like one big father is not in control of all the other men, then why are you in control of me?
Yeah, that's true.
What's the reason for which you're supposed to be in control of me in arbitering decision making?
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's how they're connected. But we'll go into it more deeply on Monday. But that's the gist of it, right? That's the short of it. But anyway, what do female incels really want? So now, I didn't know this though. So online groups of women have started using the rhetoric of the incel movement, but to what end? And this article is written by a woman named Caitlin Tiffany. It's featured in the Atlantic. Okay. And so this is, and I want you to stop me when you think it's something significant to say. The article is not all that long. Okay.
Okay.
She says we were all ugly. A 22-year-old student from Florida told me, recalling the online community she found when she was 18. Men didn't like us. Guys didn't want to be with us, and it was fine to acknowledge it.
That's the pretty privilege versus ugly girl argument.
Yeah, I thought you were going to mention that. I thought you were going to mention that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But continue.
And shout out to Electrician 480.
Hey,
appreciate your donation, man. Appreciate that. All right. This Reddit forum was called True Femcels, and she commented there under the username Strange and Ugly Girl. Amanda didn't post very often, but she checked in every day on the community of self-identified femcels or involuntarily celibate women. And she says, I agree to refer to her by her first name only to separate her current life from her former internet identity. They came to complain about the superficiality of men and the privilege of pretty women.
Pretty women. Yep, there it is. Yep.
And to share their experiences moving through the world in an unattractive body, which therefore disadvantaged them romantically, socially, and economically.
See there? See that?
You've made arguments similar to this, right?
Yep.
They were finding the modern dating landscape, the image-based apps, the commodified dating market, the illusory freedom to be found in hookup culture to be unnavigable. And they talked about and taking a pink pill.
Shout out to Kristen Kerrison. That's where it came from.
Right. And opening their eyes to the reality the society was misogynistic and lookist.
Lookist, yes. You know what that is, what I mean, lookist, right? The gaze, the male gaze.
Yeah, I mean, of course. Yeah. So the idea is that, if you're not beautiful, then there's a disadvantage that you suffer from, and it's unjust to a certain extent, or it's unfair.
It's unfair, yeah.
Because it takes away benefits from you that you would get if you were
beautiful.
Pretty.
Yeah. Yes, yep. You got it, Doc.
But bro, and shout out to D. Scott. Appreciate you, man. He says that's the BGS tax.
BGS tax in effect. They heard that.
Right. Well, you need to lay that hammer down more vociferously and authoritatively.
They know what it is, and if I'm here, especially with you, it should be a double tax. But
right,
because I got the doc and me.
Right. So he said they could be funny. In 2019, a commenter repeated a pretty friend's suggestion that nobody really needs to wear makeup, adding 5 heart eye emojis and a link to the joke subreddit, Thanks I'm Cured. They could be kind of mean, like male incels. They mocked lucky, beautiful women whom they called Stacy's. Mostly, they wrote about being sad. Normies can't comprehend real loneliness, and early post begins. Guys don't treat ugly girls like people, reads another. Now, what do you think about that, bro?
In other words, they're using the same language because guess what the incels called good looking? You've heard Obsidian say the same thing about the jawline, but
Right.
it calls them what? They call them Chads.
Right, right.
So in other words, they have the same kind of rhetoric, but they just call them Stacys. So the same kind of
But
rhetoric,
but
but
here,
they're non-select women. Go ahead.
but here's my thinking about this, right?
Mm-hmm.
As it pertains to your natural beauty,
Mm-hmm.
I will go as far as to say that nobody deserves to be beautiful or not beautiful.
Right.
Okay? It's just the luck of the draw. And the reason I say this is because if you deserve something, as far as I'm concerned, and I'm a philosopher, to deserve something, you have to have put effort into it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, to merit something is entirely different. You don't have to work for merit. If you have the capacity, doesn't matter if you worked your ass off for it or not. If you win the race because you're faster than somebody else, don't matter how fucking hard they tried to run the race. If you're faster than they are, your quickness merits that you win the race or that you get the prize.
Right.
So I'm making a distinction between merit and desert here. That's what I'm doing. Okay. It's very difficult to assess desert. It's impossible in a society like this. A smaller, more close-knit society, then you can tell if a motherfucker's shucking or jiving.
Right.
Okay? But if you don't know somebody intimately, there's no way for you to determine what a person deserves. But I don't think a person deserves to be beautiful. Okay? Mm-hmm. But there are some beautiful motherfuckers in the world, and they do get benefits from this.
Mm-hmm. They do.
And it's luck.
Yes.
And you will never be able to stop it.
Yes.
This is a feature and a function of human society, man. Beautiful people, they get better jobs. They get better access to social and economic resources. It's just the way that it is.
The way it is. They're lucky. Yeah. Yeah. Helen of Troy. You know, how far back does it go?
I mean, this is just a feature and a function of human association. There's no way to stop this. Mm-hmm. Okay? Now, there are women, like, this is the shit that fucks me up, right? So, I keep referring back to the average at best argument.
It's popped back up because she was on a reality show not too long ago. But yeah.
So, the average at best argument, man, would have women. It really doesn't matter if they're black or white, right? That they're all valuable, damn it.
Yes.
That they all deserve the same outcome, damn it.
Yes.
Because I'm valuable, because I'm me. I'm imbued with innate dignity. I'm beautiful in my own right, right? Mm-hmm. So you hear people who in fact studies say this. And at least the femcels are like being realistic about this, I think.
Yeah.
You know, and it's okay to be jealous, I guess, of people who are beautiful. I guess. I'm not really into that. You know, I'm like, well, you know, I occupy my space in the sexual marketplace. And I'm an older guy now, so I'm not trying to reproduce anymore. So, but you know, I'm trying to fuck now and then, but
but for the most part, you out of the game.
I'm not trying to reproduce, man, and have babies, man. Them motherfuckers expensive, man. Yeah, and they are a fucking hassle, bro.
And they come with mothers.
Boy. And we have a gynocracy.
Oh,
so then
boy.
you're dealing with a whole bunch of headaches, man, for that one, you know, that admission.
Yes.
You know, that admission it's pleasurable now. Mm-hmm. But god damn, man, like the rigors of what you have to deal with afterwards, if the situation is not one where there's understanding.
I feel the same way about kids that I do about vagina, right? If it wasn't attached to the woman, I had to be a beautiful world. My kids weren't attached to the mother. I love my kids. I love my 4 grandsons, man. But if they weren't attached to the mother, oh man, it'd be a beautiful world. But that's just me.
You know, like a long time ago, man, they had the Digital Underground, and they had a song called "Packet Man," and it was like we put the sex in a packet. they get
like,
close. I'm your packet man. Like if you could put sex in a can, man, that'd be like the shit that sells the most. You know, but I mean, they had, to be quite honest, they have put sex in
Yeah,
in dildos and in like dolls and shit like
Oh,
that.
oh
But
yeah, they got the little whatever they call it, the little they call it sex in a can, little pocket coochie. Yeah,
but it's not the same as having sex with
no,
a real live person and having real intimacy. You
yes,
know, it's not the same. Okay.
yeah.
I want to give a shout out to Joe from DC. Appreciate the donation, my brother. I'm taking time out to do some housekeeping.
Yeah, go ahead.
Shout out to brother Joe from DC. He says, "Bombs are Mike dancing. Keep up the great work, doctor." Hey man, bands will make them dance though. That bands will make Mike dance. Mr. Heat says, "Support the Green Gorilla channel, folks, and hit that like button." I concur, sir. Hit that like button. And this bomb is for you, Joe. I gotta drop one for Joe, man, from DC, man.
They gotta have it. It's not a Green Gorilla if they don't have the bombs and the wipes and the special effects.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, man, shout out to ML Law. Thank you, man.
Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, ML Law. I'm gonna give you a cluster for that. I feel, man, I'm crazy with the shit I do behind
right
here.
There.
And also, I want to give a shout out to the Insane Optimist. He says, "Keep spitting the knowledge and philosophy." Oh, most definitely, my brother. I'm going to continue to do that, man. You know, I'm going to give you some grenades. That's just my way to commemorate and to show some appreciation for the support. So anyway, yeah, man, I mean, look, people who are taller tend to get better positions, you know, in corporations. Politicians who look better tend to get elected into office. It's just the way the shit is, man.
Yeah.
It's the game, man. It is what it is, okay? So anyway, speaking of Amanda, I was the kind of girl in school where it was like people would say, "Oh, he has a crush on you," to make fun of the guy. Amanda told me. She was anxious and unhappy, but she didn't want to talk about any of it with her friends. When she first heard the term Femcel, it offers some clarity. In a very literal way, I was involuntarily celibate and female. So I was like, okay, that applies. Online, she found thousands of other women who were trying to figure out how to live without the kind of romantic love that our society has deemed a pillar.
That's the key. That's the key right there. It's not
maybe the pillar of happiness.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
and look, let me tell you, man, I think Hollywood is responsible for this shit more than any other entity.
Mm-hmm. Partly, yeah.
You know, the music industry also to some extent.
Hey, you know what the big killer is? Dating apps.
Dating apps?
Dating apps, social media, but dating apps.
Well, you know, I always think about, you know, the whole idea of meeting that special someone, falling in love, getting married, reproducing, and having a house with a picket fence, 2.5 kids and a dog.
And two cars in the garage, right?
2 cars in the garage. You know, and you know, the lawn is manicured. You know, the air condition is filtered. The pool in the backyard is filtered. You know, and your neighbors are friendly. They don't play loud music on the boom box as they ride by me. You know, so it's the Ward Cleaver, June Cleaver ideal of what, you know, like a marriage is supposed to be like, but it's filled also with like hot passion. Right? Like, because you really found your match. And that shit is just, it's not realistic, even for pretty people. It's just not a realistic concept of how a relationship actually works. Now, it may be that way in the beginning. You know, when you first meet somebody, everything is new. And, you know, becoming close to someone that you just met and you're having sex and all your endorphins are working up, the oxytocin is high, you
Right.
know. But shit, that shit wears off after a certain period of time. Then you actually have to deal with that individual and find a way to, agree even when there's disagreement. How to subsist, even when there's like no harmony. And that's the part that motherfuckers can't figure out.
When your passion becomes a job.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's no person on earth who's going to be able to fulfill that passion the same way as when you first met. It's like, I don't know what it's exactly like, but it's like taking your first hit of a drug. You're never going to be able to get that same feeling back.
Mm-hmm. That first high?
Yeah, you're never going to get that back. You know what I mean? So they call it chasing the dragon. You can't catch the dragon.
You can only kiss him once.
You can only kiss the dragon one time.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying that you can't have passion in your relationship, but I mean, you got to be realistic. Like, and I think people are absolutely unrealistic in this regard. Okay, men and women. Okay, but I think women more than men. That's just my opinion about that. Okay,
Yeah.
I may be wrong.
No, you're on the money. You're actually on the money. Very much so.
So it goes on to say, even though the women in the subreddit were pretty depressed and sad, it did give me reassurance because misery loves company, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least there were other people out there who were like me, and they weren't completely weird. They were pretty normal. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So around the same time, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah. When average is ugly, and it's I think there was a video about it. I don't know if Kendra did it, or somebody did it, where average is considered ugly nowadays.
Yeah, that's completely weird to me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody can't look like a fucking movie star.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody can't look like Beyonce. Everybody's not gonna have a big old fat gigantic ass.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's not gonna have a perfectly symmetrical face.
Yep.
Everybody's not gonna have perfectly long and flowing hair.
Mm-hmm.
Every man is not gonna be 6 foot tall.
Nope.
Every man is not gonna, be muscle bound, right? And have like a 12-inch penis.
You had to throw that one in. Huh?
Because and look, one of the things that I found out, you have to do research on this if you want, if it's of interest to you or anybody out there. Men with the biggest dicks get cheated on the most.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's interesting. That I'd never heard. I have never heard that.
Men with the biggest dicks get cheated on.
I thought that's counterintuitive.
It is. It is. But as they say, man, it ain't the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean.
Yeah. Can you hit the spot? Yeah.
Yeah, because, just because you got a big dick don't mean you know how to use it.
Everybody's giving reasons about why. Lazy lovers.
Lazy lovers. Look.
It's an actual study. I want to see. Hey, I'd love to see that study because that's interesting. That's fascinating. You got to do a show, Doc. Got to do a show. Hey,
man, look, if I gotta crawl and find it, but I believe it's out there.
Okay. Yeah, if you find it, do the show, man, because it's actually counterintuitive because that's not what we learn, not what we hear from women. It would be actually interesting to see that the size. If you have a larger size penis, you get cheated on the most. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. In my brain, it doesn't make sense. But the world is strange. The world is strange.
And a little bit of housekeeping. Jay Cleveland Green, he says we're all we got. I'm gonna give you a bomb. Thank you, sir. Appreciate the donation. Now, the thing that's interesting, and you'll figure this out as I get to the point where I think I think she put some spin in here. But anyway, she says around the same time that Amanda was getting involved in the Femcel community, mass media attention was focused on his far better known male counterpart.
Mm-hmm.
The lonely and angry young men of the internet became a subject of fascination because their language was disgusting and their threats of violence against women were real. Incels deified the murderer, Elliot Rodger, who killed 6 people in Isla Vista, California in 2014 and left behind a YouTube video in which he outlined his plans to punish women for rejecting him.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Coverage also illuminated the broader Manosphere.
And you see where they're going with this.
Man, this is the spin.
Mm-hmm.
The sprawling online network of disaffected young men that overlapped with the so-called alt-right and with President Donald Trump's rabid army of MAGA trolls. In a 2018 report on the intersection of misogyny and white supremacy, the Anti-Defamation League outlined how incels' sense of entitlement to sex was leading them toward other extremist spaces and beliefs. This was a scary and dizzyingly complicated story, and femcels, whose rage was quieter and whose presence was smaller, didn't really factor in. So that paragraph is a comparison and a contrast paragraph.
Right. Yeah.
That's what's there. Okay, so the manosphere and male incels are malevolent.
Mm-hmm.
Female incels are quiet. Not so much, they're angry, but they're not violent. But the males are violent. That's what I'm getting from this. What do you get from this?
I get the same thing. Plus she's trying to associate the incels with the broader manosphere, and that's never been the case.
That's the thing. That's what I struggle with here. Okay.
Yeah.
And when I read this paragraph, and
then she tried to roll it into the alt-right, which aren't incels, definitely not incels, with Donald Trump and MAGA trolls, or MAGA, the 4chan guys. She's trying to cast a broader net by using the incel argument.
Now, to be fair, there are some conservative men in the manosphere, and there are some conservative black men in the manosphere. Okay, and I, for the life of God, can't all the way together understand, some of their dedication to conservatism. I do, on the other hand, do understand some of it. Okay, the liberal party, the Democratic Party, they've gone too far left. Okay, and they're too radical as far as I'm concerned. They need to come closer to the center.
Okay.
At the current moment, the left is like a woke intersectional party right now. It's like they may as well have. It may as well be a fucking gay parade, dog. I mean, an ostentatious one at that. And not to say that, I'm all against that. Party how y'all want to.
Mm-hmm.
But damn it, that's not even the core of all of the members of your party.
Yeah.
That demographic does not make up the bulk of the persons who occupy your party. But you're acting as if they are the core. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's not the core of your party. But, I digress, man. I want to do some more housekeeping.
Go ahead.
Shout out to Eric Deadman. He says, but all these women say they need an anaconda. Okay, well, hey. All right. Let them have it. Let me see. Jay Cleveland Green. Oh, I did him already. I'm sorry.
Okay.
I did him already. I want to give a shout out to Felicia Gray. She says, when are you going to do another smoke session, Gigi? When are you doing another, what do you mean by that?
Well, smoke, in other words, when you bring in the smoke. So in other words, when you are actually going in on whatever the topic it is or whether the group you're going in on.
Yeah, when I'm going to yell at some people and shit?
Yeah, when Dr. Gigi becomes the G with the PhD, okay? Without the PhD.
Man, you know, that comes up when it comes up, man, but it has to be at the right time
Mm-hmm.
for the right reason, directed at the right person. Like I have a virtue ethical stance on like when I start smoking out and come with the cooking, you know, like I'm not just going, cause to be perfectly honest, I'm a pretty chill dude, man. Like, I mean, if you knew me in real life, I can be acerbic, I can be an asshole and a jerk. But for the most part, I'm gregarious. I tell jokes and shit. I'm always making everybody else feel comfortable. You understand what I'm saying? That's pretty much who I am. I'm not like I am serious, but I'm not that serious. I don't take myself so serious. Like no. I tell jokes and
Gemini's have multiple personalities, so it depends, you know. And so the what I call the evil twin doesn't come out that often.
No, not for real, man. And you know, usually I'm doing something that like pacifies me in such a way that I don't have to go there anyway. You know, like I'm doing my music or something, or you know, I'm writing. I'm on my bicycle. You know, I'm doing push-ups, pull-ups, dips, or some shit. You know, like I'm doing something to occupy, you know, my attention and to relieve whatever stress it is that I have. I'm meditating. You know, I'm doing something proactive. But like, there are some things that piss me off. And here's the place. It's a perfect place because it's not really hurting anybody per se. You know, like, I mean, if I vent and I frustrate on YouTube, who's actually hurt by that?
Yeah, other than feelings, nobody.
Exactly. Now, if I'm yelling at a motherfucker in a bar somewhere,
and
I'm like, you punk ass bitch. You know, those are fighting words right there.
Yep.
You understand what I'm saying? And so, but I'm not the type of person to yell before I fight. Like that's what I call telegraphing. Like that'll get your ass whipped. Trust me, I know it.
Woofing. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit right there will get your head bust in. Especially where I'm from Northside St. Louis. You start talking loud. This little young cats, man, with pistols and shit, they'll be like, "Oh, he's talking loud, okay."
Yeah, show me if you can't send a super chat, that's fine. If you really want to donate, we're putting Doc's Cash App link in there. Cash App is sometimes better because it's instant. You know, you got to wait on super chats. So, but we'll take it either way. Okay, donation.
And don't forget, my birthday is in 3 days from now.
Okay.
I'll be 51. The OG will be 5'1". You know what I'm saying? So hit me with a Cash App. Don't fucking pay YouTube on my birthday, man. I'm gonna do a show on my birthday. We're gonna do John Locke on my birthday, though. We're gonna talk about women's rights.
Okay. We're gonna do Cash Apps, man. Yeah, you get one. I actually requested this, so you got one coming from me.
Right. So hold on, Felicia Gray, big up to her, and damn, big up to. And let me give her a bomb before I leave. I got to give all my peoples some attention and some
love,
some honor. You know, an exemplification of my appreciation. Okay, so thank you, Felicia. Appreciate that. And to brotherly love, man. Appreciate you, my brother.
You gotta give a cluster. No, you need a cluster on that one, man. That's key. Give him a cluster for 50. Give him a cluster.
Yeah, I give him a cluster. That you know what? Fuck a cluster. I'm gonna give him the mothership.
Oh shit!
He gets the mothership.
He gets the mothership.
He gets the mothership, baby. You know what I'm saying? And Joe from DC, man, my brother, man. He says he posted the link in the chat. I don't know what he linked.
He posted the link of the article that you talked about. What size matters?
Oh yeah. So hey, Joe from DC, man, appreciate that, my brother, man. You know, appreciate that. So yeah, and shout out to E. Taylor. He says this is for the lo-fi fire. Keep that going, G. Hey man, you know I'm gonna keep that shit going. It's going as we speak. I'm learning shit about YouTube that I didn't know before. I didn't know you can have more than one live stream going simultaneously.
Oh really? Okay.
It's fucking blowing my wig here. Seriously, I mean, I assumed that like The stream I was doing was going to come down because I was, doing this one. And it didn't do it. Like the fucking lo-fi shit is still going.
Okay. All
It
right.
hasn't stopped. It's wigging me out. So, yeah. But anyway, but I'm not doing it through StreamYard. I'm doing that through a server. Okay? So it is what it is. But thank you, brotherly love. And thank you, E. Taylor, my brother. Appreciate that, man. Trying to get it up. Here we go. Thank you, my brother E. Taylor, man. Appreciate that. And look, I'm doing that. I'm doing the lo-fi shit. I'm not getting paid for it for real, man. Like, there's no way to really get paid from lo-fi music unless you got it on Spotify. Nah. Because Spotify will get you paid, right? YouTube won't get you paid. That's just the truth, okay? Not with music, because all you do is you come in once, they give you an ad one time, you listen to the shit for 5 or 6 hours if you that type of person, right? And there are no more ads. So the only way you can support it is to, every now and then just throw a dollar or two in, to the pot so I can keep it going without incurring costs myself. But I do it because I enjoy it. And you motherfuckers, every now and then, man, you need to meditate on something peaceful. Yeah. Like hearing this kind of conversation, man, endlessly, it had your mind fucked up. Y'all do. I mean, I hope these guys are aware of that. Like, you can't just be like, give yourself 2 or 3 hours to the Manosphere a day or so, man, and then pull back from it and do some shit you enjoy.
Yeah, yeah, it's intense, and plus, it's 24/7, never stops. So
it never stops, man.
Remove yourself from it. Yep.
And that's like with anything in life, man. If you go to the gym, you go in that motherfucker for an hour and a half, man, or even under an hour, and you fucking work out and you get out of there. And then you build muscle when you're sleeping, for real, not in the gym.
Yeah.
You build muscle by eating the right way. You don't get muscle in the gym. You get it in the bed, right? Mm-hmm. So you gotta allow what you consume in the Manosphere to work on your unconscious as opposed to always working in your conscious mind, right? That's just my opinion about that.
It's true. It's true. It is true. You got to get away from it. You got to let you. Same thing when you learn stuff, right? You have to absorb it. It takes time for you to actually absorb the knowledge.
Yeah, you can't be in a library all day, every day.
Yeah.
I mean, like, look. When I first went to college, man, I was a fuck up, okay? I had a 1.4 GPA my first semester, dude. And you know why? Because I was smoking weed and drinking 40 ounces and shit.
You were partying.
And, my major was chemistry pre-med. And I was like, you can't do that shit, man, getting fucked up like that. I didn't enjoy it anyway. It's not something that I enjoy doing, okay?
You didn't like being in the lab all day.
It was boring as hell.
It is.
And you could tell I have a natural affinity for conversation.
Yes. Yeah. And that's not the place where you're going to have it.
And I like ideas, not balancing equations. I don't like turning, let's talk about calories and converting that into degrees, Celsius or Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit, yeah.
Switch, like transferring or, converting joules to kilojoules and shit like that. I'm like, man, dude, that's cool. I mean, I get it. I comprehend it, but...
Yeah, kilocalories.
I got to do this shit for like how long?
Kilocalories per mole and all that kind of stuff, yeah.
Yeah, it was cool, but I mean, it wasn't my, like a joy. But when,
yeah, you're a movement person. You can't be a movement person and be stuck inside of a lab.
No.
Trying to titrate some shit till it turns pink, to find the unknown. Yeah, drive you nuts.
But I learned the secret to being a straight A student, okay? And the secret is go to the library every day for 2 hours a day. Every day, except for Saturdays and Sundays. That was my 40 ounce and my bud days. I mean, I fuck with bud too on the weekdays, but not before I spent my 2 hours in the library. If I did not spend my time in the library, it must be vacation. And even if I did all of my homework, all of it was done. And it's easy to do if you're there doing it every day.
Yeah.
There's no pressure. There's no cramming. You're taking your time. Okay? That's how you become adept at anything. Taking your time to learn this shit the right way. Don't cram anything.
Right.
Right? And then forget about it. Don't fuck with it. After I spent my 2 hours doing it, it's done. I'm not revisiting it the rest of the day. That's the key right there. Consistency, man. You know, be consistent. But anyway, you still with me?
I'm serious. I'm right here.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm serious.
So anyway, I just look, this paragraph here, I don't like the characterization of the manosphere. It's full of incels, and that every man within it, you know, is feeling privileged to have sex. And because this is how, you know, the manosphere gets characterized as a hate group, right? And how they get characterized as dangerous and potentially violent, like potentially, you know, like suicidal and going to not a suicidal in terms of a self-sacrificial act, but like murder suicide.
Right. Yeah. Mass murder type. Yeah.
Right. So like the Anti-Defamation League is like, okay, well, we got to watch out for these guys. Let's put the FBI and the CIA on them. Let's start tapping into what it is that they have to say, right? Because they present a danger to people, to women. And that's the same shit Brittany Cooper has said, too.
Yeah.
You know, like the internet is radicalizing men. No, this is the funny thing about this shit, right? I showed a video about the women, like the angry women, and they like these British feminist radicals, and they just outright kill men now, ask me how. I don't know if you remember that shit, but go look at it.
I remember that, yeah.
Kill men now, ask me how. Do you hear me? Like, kill women now, ask me how. That's not what I'm about. You know, I'm not about killing anybody. All I am is saying, look, the system we have is not fair to men at the current moment. Particularly, it's not fair to black men at all.
It never has been. Yeah.
Okay. And then you compound the problems, you know, with the shift and the focus on women's rights as opposed to men's rights. And then it's like, wait a minute. What the fuck are we actually dealing with here? The only people who suffer from any of this shit are the outgroup men from the beginning because they've always been marginalized. Bring that shit to white dudes. If you want to argue against the patriarchy shit, put that shit in their pot. Don't put that on us. Okay? That's my only issue. Like, and then also, most white dudes ain't running shit no way.
No, they're not.
And that's why I say, you know, like, look, my definition of patriarchy is a group of powerful men who develop fraternal and kinship bonds in order to stymie threats from other men. So it is a male thing to some extent, but it's not inclusive of all males. And like white people have different, like, they have their own hierarchies amongst white people too. Don't get it twisted. I mean, you know, he's fucking white trash. He's a burnout.
It's class. Yeah, we call it class in America. Yeah, which is a hierarchy.
And they have their own ethnic groups within white culture. You know, I went to school with these motherfuckers. You know, he's a Polak. Oh, he's a Dago. Oh, he's a fucking, you know, that fucking Irish hick. I mean, you know, they joke with one another like that, but they still know that they're white, though. Okay, it's a difference. You know, like you call like a black man a nigger. They know that's offensive to all kinds of, at all kinds of levels. They know that they're aware of that shit, right? So anyway, shout out to Ray Knowles. Thank you, sir, for your contribution. Got to give him a bond. Anyway, and this article is not very long. 5 years later, incels are a known quantity, and femcels are a new mystery. In recent months, headlines have named 2022 the year of the femcel and heralded a coming femcel revolution when women are reclaiming involuntary celibacy and asserting their right to give a name to their loneliness and alienation. But this new recognition of femcels has tended to stop there. But incel had a political meaning. People identified with the term were read as reactionaries. The young, mostly white men who felt left behind as society progressed beyond its historical focus on their specific needs. The term femcel is now in widespread use, not just in Reddit forums, but on every major social platform, including the Gen Z favorite TikTok. But we still don't know what it's for. If a femcel revolution is coming, what new world are femcels dreaming about?
Yeah, that's where the pretty privileged argument comes in. You know, that's what they dream about. They see their pretty counterparts actually get the benefits, and that's what they dream about. It's really not sex. It's about the whole lifestyle that pretty girls get.
Now check this out now. So when Amanda talks about the femcel community, she specifically contrasted with one other option: contemporary liberal feminism, or maybe girl boss feminism. It's popularized by millennials and the brands that cater to them.
Yep.
You mean that boss bitch?
That's the boss bitch. That's
the boss bitch.
That's the boss bitch. The lean in boss bitch. Yep.
And look, let me say this, man. Let me just keep it 100, man. Like, I know it's fucked up for me to say this, man.
Nah, well, you're gonna say it anyway. Go ahead.
Even average at best femcel black motherfuckers, this women, they feel like they still some goddamn boss bitches.
They do. You know what? And my brother uses this all the time. There was Stephen King actually had a movie about a chick, right? I'm trying to remember her name, Norma something, right? And there was a line in it, right, that says, "Sometimes being a bitch is all you have to hold on to. So if you're ugly, you're a femcel. All you got to do is hold on to. Being a boss bitch is all you have to hope for and hold on to."
But I mean, and look, man, why don't the femcels and the incels like this? Okay, so look, this is the new generation. Like, okay, I'm Generation X, man. Okay, and I'm from the mindset of, okay, it's somebody for everybody. Okay,
Yeah.
So what used to happen is motherfuckers would fuck with people from their sexual marketplace value, or fuck with the people who on their level. Okay, but it requires physical proximation to me though. Like not apps and shit like that. Like you gotta be in the same place that everybody else is.
Right.
The high octanes fucking with the pretty people, fucking with the pretty people. The average people fucking with the average people, and the ugly people fucking with the other ugly people.
Yep. That's sort of mating.
Okay? And every now and then somebody crosses a class, or whatever the case may be, or crosses a boundary, because there's no hard and fast boundaries when it comes to pretty or ugly. And also, I mean, well, that's true and not true, but and also beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Aesthetics can be subjective, okay? So whereas I know a dude, man, who this motherfucker has, he looks like a model, but he like big motherfuckers. He likes BBWs.
That's an imprint.
That's what he likes, man.
Yeah, that's the imprint. Yep.
You like this motherfucker, like he can lift the gym, but he wants a big ass. I'm not gonna say.
Yeah, that's his fetish.
I gotta say, he likes a big old bitch with them big old lips and them big old hips and them potato chips.
Yeah, that's what he loves. Yeah, he like a hippo in the bed. No,
that's what he like, man. You understand what I'm saying? So who am I to knock his fetish? No, that's what he likes. If it ain't got laps, if it ain't done lap, he don't want to deal with it.
If it ain't got no meat, you ain't got no heat, huh?
Man, he said, he told me Jack Sprat could eat no fat. That's his favorite line. I said, okay, well, that's how you like it, bro.
That's how you like it.
That's how you like it, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, my whole thing is, though, black women, man, like, especially with the Kevin Samuels effect, you should see
Mm-hmm.
these average and below average women acting as if they're fucking boss bitches. Like, I mean, like deserving of all of the privileges associated with how you consider like your rankings of the octanes.
Right. Yeah.
How does that happen, bro?
You know what? The generation, millennial below, are trophy kids. Everybody gets a trophy, and I want what she's having. It's called equity, right? Everybody has to have equity. Everybody gets the same prize, and that's what they focus on. I don't care what I look like, whether I deserve it or not. I want the same thing that she's got. That's for
But here's
the
the catch, man. Look, if everybody gets the prize,
hmm
then the prize is not a point of distinction anymore.
true.
And look, at the end of the day, just because you're pretty, it doesn't guarantee that you're going to be successful either. You could be a successful ruin, a beautiful disaster. You get what I'm saying? Because a lot of these so-called high-octane people, they crash and burn, bro. Like, I mean, you couldn't tell me Vivica Fox wasn't bad as a motherfucker when Independence Day came out.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
She was bad as a motherfucker back then, wasn't she?
Yes, she was. Lord have mercy.
Halle Berry was a bad motherfucker back in the day.
She was the icon back then.
Okay? Whitney Houston was bad as a motherfucker back in the day.
Yes, she was.
Okay? And the list goes on and on and on. Like Lisa Ray, bad as a motherfucker back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
But ain't none of them motherfuckers married and happy and shit.
They didn't cash in.
Well, Whitney got married, so I got to take that back. She was married to Bobby.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they had, given the dysfunction and the habits that they had, I think they had a decent relationship. I mean, I know it was dysfunctional, yes, but
they were actually a match for each other.
they were a fucking match.
They were
Both
match.
egotistic as a motherfucker.
Yep.
It all had to be their way. I mean, they were like and like.
Yep. She couldn't let him go.
Couldn't let him go.
Mm.
And shout out to Black Uhuru Strikes, man. He says he likes to toss a big fish around. It makes him feel powerful. Known a few of those brothers. How about a big whale? No, I'm stopping. Let me stop, man. He says Lisa and Holly married too. That's Doc Johnson. But they got the big D, and I ain't talking about dick.
No, divas, yeah.
They got the big divorce though. Didn't Lisa Ray get divorced?
Yes, she did.
And didn't Holly like get tossed to the side?
Twice.
Like, look, man. These marriage is not the way it used to be, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, marriage is not the same. Like, you get married once and that's it. Mm-hmm. No, man. It's like some Hollywood. Like, average people are acting like Hollywood people now and shit.
Yeah, they think they are now. They think they are now. Everybody is looking on Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, and they think they're getting the same kind of attention, or so they think. I got people that follow.
And everybody wants to live the life of the Instagram model. Mm-hmm. The IG bitch shaking her ass on the gram. Mm-hmm. And these women, I mean, some of them get money or whatever the case may be. Some of them are nicely paid from shaking their asses, okay? That's cool. But, I mean, think about what's going to be the nostalgia for that person?
Good question.
Like, I mean, 20, 30 years from now, like, yeah, I was throwing that ass in the circle on the gram, man.
they got the social media and they got the pictures to prove it.
I had a whole bunch of likes. I got a few surgeries.
Mm-hmm. I was an IG model for a minute.
Boy, I had them niggas jacking off to me. Cause that's all that shit is, man. Like trying to pimp the game and get money from dudes for images to jack off to. Let's just keep it a buck, man.
Yeah, it's stroking that ego.
No. But anyway, let me get through the rest of this shit. The liberal feminist notion of supporting all women, feeling positive all the time is disingenuous. And I agree with that shit. At least the femcels are reasonable to me. Thus far. I hate to say this. Right? Like the whole idea of the world is an oyster, girl power this, they're like, this shit ain't real. Mm-hmm. It's disingenuous. And I don't think black women got that message though. I'm just being real. Okay?
Yeah, well, the Stephco, she the pretty girl privilege, yeah. They get it. Not all of them, but they get it.
When she started identifying with the term femcel, it was partly because she felt a resentment toward a style of feminism that challenged traditional beauty standards, mostly by asking those who fell short of them to feel beautiful anyway, regardless of their lived experiences. Did someone say Lizzo? I mean, and that's just a frame of reference, right?
Yeah, but it fits. It fits.
I'd rather be able to talk about and Lizzo's not an ugly woman.
No, she's not.
Okay? She's just overweight.
Morbidly so.
And she ain't a sexy overweight woman either.
No, she's not.
Now, like Jill Scott to me is a sexy overweight woman. Yeah. Don't ask me why.
Them tatas, okay.
That might have something to do with it, man. Come on, man. God damn, BGS,
man. We already know what it is.
Right. She ain't part of the itty bitty titty committee.
No, she's not. She's doubly blessed.
Yeah, she got a couple of little soft things right up front.
Yeah. She got some bumpers, yeah.
She got some pillows. That's yeah. Hey man, we are talking reckless here on YouTube. I'd like to add that this channel is for adults, okay? But anyway, somebody gave me a shout out. Black Man Swimming, thank you for your $5 donation. Appreciate that, my brother. Anyway, she says, I'd rather be able to talk about being ugly than just try to convince myself that I'm pretty, she said. Mm. Seems like a pretty reasonable position to hold to me.
Mm-hmm. That's with the incels are calling that the black pill of reality.
Oh, that's what they call the black pill.
That's what they call the black pill. Yeah. Okay.
In some ways, this logic is even more uncomfortable than the original incel logic. Like, I don't understand, like, what makes people feel like this is uncomfortable. Like, everybody does not look like fucking, like, Idris Elba.
Yeah.
And to me, no homo, I don't understand what all these motherfuckers rant and rave about Idris about. I don't get it. I'm not a woman, so I guess I will never get it. But, I mean, I guess he's an all right looking dude, but goddamn, everybody's not going to look like fucking the light-skinned dudes was in when I was young.
Boris Kojo?
Yeah, everybody ain't Boris Kojo, Shemai Moore, or fucking Morris Chestnut. Men know they don't all look like that, bruh. Mm-hmm. So, this is why Kevin Samuels was important to me, man. Like, okay, rate yourself. Like, what the fuck? Like, how beautiful are you in your own mind? Mm-hmm. And rate yourself on 1 to 10, but you can't use 7 because everybody's gonna start saying I'm a 7.
I had like 5 women do the exact same thing, so he's actually telling the truth. I'm a 7.
So I'm like, okay, well. If you know you ain't like Beyonce beautiful, if you know you ain't like Kelly Rowland beautiful, because I always tell people, man, beauty ain't in the skin color. Because it's some beautiful black motherfuckers
Mm-hmm.
and it's some ugly ass light skinned motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm. Don't I know it?
So all this light skin shit ain't got nothing to do with beauty to me. Now, I mean, if you live in a colorist culture, you know, like a racist culture, I can see how, you know, features that are more Western or European can, you know, lead to bias to those who, you know, who look more European as being more pretty. But you ain't never seen an ugly white motherfucker?
Too many to count.
Man, everybody white ain't beautiful, man.
Most white people aren't beautiful.
Hey, man, everybody white ain't don't look beautiful, man. That should be. It should go without saying, man. You know what I mean? I mean, I just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? Okay, anyway. Because it's just some dark black women, man, that look beautiful as a motherfucker to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And they're getting rarer and rarer as we add mix. So they're starting to really stand out.
So anyway, in a 2021 essay, the feminist theorist Jilly Boyce K argued that it's not just incels who assume that any woman can get sex from men. This is a widespread cultural assumption. Women have long been understood to hold sexual capital. In modern dating culture, they're expected to wield it. And I think that there's look, I don't agree with everything a feminist says, but to some degree, I assume that there's some truth in that, okay? Because, I mean, we assume that, like, any woman can just get it. All they got to do is just say, hey, here it is. You want some?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what the incels say. That's what the whole Manosphere says. Women always have access to sex, no matter how ugly she is.
Man, I'm just going to go ahead out here and say it, man. I have not fucked every woman that has given me access to the pussy.
Yeah, but she can find somebody that'll take it, right? Like I remember the Joe Tech used to have this old song when I was a kid, right? Don't worry about a doggone thing. Somebody somewhere is gonna take you. Okay.
But I assume that that's also true of men.
Maybe not so much. You know.
Look, I'm not the best looking guy in the world. I'm not a movie star. Okay. I'm not the ugliest guy in the world.
But you make the cut.
I guess, man. Look, all I can tell you is it depends on what night it is. I might have the glow that night. I might be like the motherfucking, what's the name of the movie with Bruce Leroy or some shit? What's this?
What is it? What is it? The Last Dragon?
Yeah, that shit. Whatever the movie is with the motherfucker with the Jerry Curl that can do black kung fu motherfucker.
Yep.
See, every now and then I might have the glow and shit. You know, you just get hot and you can't explain why you're hot. The Last Dragon, that's it, T-Fitness. Every now and then you get hot. Like, damn, everywhere I'm going, these motherfuckers is on my job.
Yeah,
but that's just, it be like that sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Where you can't fumble, you know, you be in the zone.
Yeah, it's your night.
If it's your night, it's your night.
Your night, yeah. Too bad you can't put some of that on hold and, you know, kind of put them in the freezer, but yeah, it's your night.
But here's the deal though, man. I feel like this. If you got the right, because sometimes it ain't necessarily about swag and confidence as much as it is, what are you trying to accomplish? People can sense like authenticity and like sincerity in what it is that you're saying. Like, I mean, you know, and they, like women can sense bullshit. And if you nervous or some shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, I think they can. I mean, look, it all depends on your game. I always came from the school of guys that's like, look, man, I'm trying to smash something tonight. I'm walking up to her like, what's cracking? You trying to get down?
Yeah, mode 1. Shout out to Alan Roger Curry, huh? Being direct.
Like, I mean, Especially if you're out of town or some shit like that. You ain't got all time to fucking be playing games and shit. Like, look, you know, fucking, this is you know how the Freaknik shit from the old school and all that. There ain't no, it's a hookup thing, spring break type shit.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no, we not gonna be fucking like dating and getting married or nothing. This is a mating ritual.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it stays here with us. When I leave, it leaves. Okay.
But anyway, man, I'm digressing. But I don't know, man. Maybe I just have never experienced the incel thing, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, if anything, I know what voluntary celibacy looks like. I don't know what it's like to not have the capacity to be with a woman if I desired. Like, if I really was out there trying, then I couldn't do it at all. Like, I don't know what that feeling's like, so that's just my, you know, my experience. And no disrespect to those who feel that way or who've gone through life like that.
Yeah.
You know, but I don't think most men in the black manosphere have that problem. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't some guys who may.
It's kind of rare. I think it's growing for a particular reason, is because they're believing their phones instead of actually going out there and, out there and you know how they say actually approaching. Getting out there in the middle and actually taking your chances. A lot of these guys are actually afraid, so they do. So I hear a lot about these group of kids where they're afraid to actually go out and actually get rejected. Yeah, just actually fear rejection. Just keep
fuck rejection. Like, I mean, don't take no for it. Like, if somebody tells you no, leave that motherfucker alone.
Yeah,
don't go like if she says no, you go 180 degrees in the other direction. No hesitation. Don't try to convince. Well, what do you mean? Don't get mad and angry. Like, fuck you, bitch. No. All you gotta do is just, I done been on the dance floor and the girls wouldn't dance with me. And I turned around, it was a chick that looked better than she did, like 2 stars above. And she said yes.
Yeah.
I mean, and right there, like, turn around like, oh, she ain't gonna dance. Well, what about you?
Yeah.
And then end up getting up number and smashing.
It's called destiny, sir.
Hey, look, let me just say this, man. Don't tell yourself no because somebody else said no. That's the whole point. Don't lose your capacity. Don't lose your mission because one motherfucker said no. Mm-hmm. Who is that person anyway? They just somebody who ain't, who failed to have the blessing of you in their life.
Yeah, it's not even a person telling them no. It's their phone telling them no. That's the issue. Because not getting stars in a dating app, or the kind of guy they want in a dating app, so they feel that their phone is actually reality.
Hey man, your phone ain't real, dog. Like I told you a long time ago, I had a little booklet, man. It was called, and this is fucked up. I was young and stupid. I called it 100 Hoes. Okay, and I was like, okay, this quarter I'm gonna holler at 100 hoes.
Yeah,
and just see how it goes.
Yeah,
and it doesn't matter if they're in a car. It doesn't matter if they're at the grocery store, the church, the library, the mall. Doesn't matter if they're on the bus stop. If that motherfucker look attractive to me, I'm getting right on it.
In a house with a mouse, huh?
Don't matter.
Green eggs and ham.
and it's just, like that's what you should be doing if you ain't tethered to nobody.
Right. Exactly.
If you see something you like, you go for it.
You go for
and
it.
And if you get rejected, so what?
Yeah, but they alert you to rejection. That's the problem.
If you ain't never been rejected, if you ain't never been shot down, even pretty motherfuckers get shot down. Beautiful people get shot down. So what makes you think you ain't gonna never get shot down? That's hubris. Well, it's not hubris. It's just fear. It's that. It's the mind killer, like Doom. That's that fear. But I mean, like if somebody looks good, you're intimidated or whatever the case may be. You don't want her to tell you no, but you already told yourself no. That's worse than that person telling you no, and it ain't even real because you don't even know if she's gonna tell you no or yes. Now, have there been times when I was like, no, I'm not gonna do that right now? Yeah, but it ain't like, oh, I'm just scared to talk to her. I'm so nervous. I couldn't even move my feet. Y'all dudes need to get off that damn phone, man. Fuck these Tinder apps, and I don't even know. Fuck them apps, man.
Yep, Tinder, Facebook. What is it? Was it Plenty of Fish? They go through them all.
Man, I had women hit me up and Plenty of Fish, and I see them at the regular spot, like because I got on it and used it, but I never used it because I never really had a need to use it. So I just did it as a. Let me see what this shit is about. You found a match. You found a match. You found a match. And I see them out, and I look at them, and they be like, they'll notice that I'm that dude on the picture, but I'm like, damn, man, you are not really on my level out here. Like, you really not on my level out here.
Yeah, the difference between driving and video game. So they treat dating like a video game. They really do. And that's the problem.
They got to stop that, man. Because the world is real, man. There's real shit going on out here in these streets, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You need to go out to these clubs, go out to these parties, go to these, wherever they are. Look, you can meet a badass chick.
Yeah.
At the supermarket.
Yeah. This is, going back to what the cave, the analogy of the cave. This is the smartphone is the cave, the virtual cave.
Right.
Where the shadows are actually reality to them instead of the real world.
Right. But the whole thing is, you will get turned down.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. There's nobody who steps to the plate and hits a home run every time. There's no individual out there that exists like that. Shit, Babe Ruth got struck out. Mm-hmm. Mark McGuire's been struck out. Mm-hmm. Jackie Robinson got struck out. Mm-hmm. Everybody strikes out. But damn, you can't even hit a home run if you don't try to hit the goddamn ball.
They don't even come up to the plate. They don't even get off the bench and come to the plate. That's the problem. They don't even take swings.
Hey, man, you better swing at that ball. You better swing, better swing.
Yeah, because I've talked to a lot of guys that are supposedly incel, and that's what they tell me on a constant basis. I've done videos on them and talked to them. The term used to be true force loneliness. A very small, tiny segment of guys back in the MGTOW days, and so they changed it to incel, and the name caught on. Now everybody's an incel. I think it's a generational thing.
Hey, man. That's why I say back in the day, we used to go to the party. We have house parties, big parties, lounge parties. I mean, we just party. And then, somebody be like, my girl was like, who are you? Like, here I is. Major Pain like Damon Wayans. What's good? How you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just how you're supposed to do it. Like, I mean, and it's spontaneous, man. And don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah.
Like, motherfuckers acting like if they fail this one thing with this one person at this one time, that everything is going to be a disaster from thereafter. Like,
it confirms their bias. Either I'm a failure, I'm not attractive. I tried one time because the phone said I was unattractive, can't get anybody. I tried one time, got shot down. Guess what? It's true. And they take it that way.
Man, like I said before, like you just missed out. That's how I feel. Like if you ain't get with me, you ain't hollered at me, you just missed out on a great experience.
Yeah. they don't grow any just like when you lift weights or you work out, or you're an iron worker, right? So when you first start working, your hands are tender. You got to build up them calluses.
Yes, sir.
It never built up any calluses.
Yeah, you got to build your muscle, man. That's why them pickup artists, like, you just gonna go out there and do it, and they're right for that, because you'll never get used to women if you don't fuck with them. Yeah, like you can't talk to your boys and just don't never interact with women if you want to actually be associated and have access to relationships with women. You gotta fuck with them.
You gotta talk to them. Yeah, at some point.
You have to. You know, and they can be cool until, you know, that ring of Gaiji shit get to kicking in, and then all of a sudden, women are great until you have a baby with them, man.
Oh man, I just talked to a guy. He said the exact same thing.
I mean, they the best motherfuckers in the world. You know, like the Young Thug song, my best friend, she's my best friend, my best.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, wah! Then all of a sudden, here come the Full Metal Jacket bitch. God damn.
Oh yeah, I got you now. I own you. When I said blood in, blood out.
Oh, she ain't gonna hide no. I'm gonna let you see the real me now.
Yeah. Yeah, I could drop all that.
I got what I wanted.
I gave you what you wanted. So now I'm paid the price. Now give me my 3 wishes. Damn it.
Right. So anyway, let me get through this because it's only 2 more paragraphs. Women have long been understood to hold all the sexual capital. They feel the same sense of humiliation and exclusion to incels, but they react to those feelings differently. Incel discourse tends to project anger outward onto society and a hatred of women. Mm-hmm. That's an assumption, okay, from this fucking professor, okay? Mm-hmm. Kay told me when we spoke recently that anger is expressed radically through threats of violence or through bizarre, though arguably imaginative calls for the government to redistribute sex. Now, that may be the case for some guys, mm-hmm. but it can't be the case for all incels.
No, it's not.
I mean, that's a very generalized statement there. Mm-hmm. And quite frankly, I think it's a mischaracterization of reality. Okay?
Yeah. It is.
And here's one of the things that I want to call attention to, right? Mm-hmm. And I don't think it gets said enough. But I want to say it here on the Green Gorilla channel. A lot of times when men commit suicide, mm-hmm. they commit suicide murder. But especially white guys, okay? Mm-hmm. But start attending to the mental health of these motherfuckers, man. We need to create a culture in which it's okay for men to be depressed and to show feelings and to mm-hmm. feel, you know, like they can be vulnerable. Because mm-hmm. when there is no help for these guys, man, they fucking like, even like in Texas recently, wasn't it a Hispanic dude that shot up the school?
Yeah, it was.
Like, I mean, so the point is, I think because we're not attending to the mental health of boys, mm-hmm. and this culture is like become gynocentric to the neglect and the exclusion of boys, mm-hmm. you're going to see more of this shit. So the radicalization that I call for is a radicalization in empathy for boys, mm-hmm. such that these boys, when they are vulnerable, they're getting the kind of help that they need and the validation that they need so that they don't fall into despair. Because a lot of times these guys do fall into despair mm-hmm. and they want to take themselves out. But and I think William Farrell said this. I can't remember his first name, but I know Dr. Johnson knows his first name. He's the male study scholar, but he's a white guy. Yeah. It's not Will Ferrell, but he wrote The Boy Crisis. What the fuck is his name, man?
Okay. Good grief. I don't know.
Hold on, I'm gonna figure this out, man. I should know this. It's Warren Farrell. Warren Farrell is his name. Okay. A lot of times, guys will act out like that when they're ready to off themselves, and it becomes a real nihilistic enterprise, right? Or a kind of nihilistic orientation towards the world. That shit, I think, can be mitigated by paying attention to these guys and attending to their needs. Yeah. And trying to give them a sense of belonging outside of the context of sex and relationships. For one, these guys have nowhere to fit in. And then when they blow up, everybody wonders why they blew up, and then they start talking about guns and shit. Yeah. Guns ain't the motherfuckers walking, standing on their own, killing people. It's people with these mental health issues or the people who've been neglected, who are vulnerable, mm-hmm. They can't be vulnerable. You understand what I mean?
Yeah, it's a cry for attention.
They can't demonstrate their vulnerability.
Right.
And goddamn it, you better man up. You better not, show any weakness, signs of weakness.
And Doc Johnson was actually talking about this. Men don't show emotional and vulnerability the same way women do, and the teachers are expecting that men to actually emote like females, and they can't. They express it differently.
Of course.
Hmm.
And men would be able to pick up on the signs,
Yeah.
especially if they're withdrawn, they don't socialize with others.
Hmm.
It would take a man to be able to pick up on male energy and to understand that there's
Hmm.
something wrong going on there.
And how to address it by how do you bring it out if he's shy and withdrawn. um you have to force him into it, and like the man will force him, you're going to participate whether you like it or not, and get used to it. But you don't have that kind of energy because the school system is actually designed for girls, for white girls at that.
Yeah. And unfortunately, like only 2% of the teachers are male,
Yeah. Yeah.
black males. Only
Yeah.
2% of the teachers in the public school system throughout America are males.
Hmm. Yep.
That's a
and
problem.
and
They don't
and
see people who look like them, and they can't learn from people who look like them.
as much as we would like to think that females can actually teach anybody, they can in a sense. But the thing is, their teaching style is not right for boys. That's like when you see an all male academy, you get like a 98, 99% graduation rate, 98% going to college. Why is that? Because you're actually designing a program, uh, designing a present school system for boys. It can actually be designed to do anything that you want, but you have to design it that way.
And,
They
and-
decided to design it for women, so you're getting a lot of feminized boys through that system.
Let me put it in Tupac terms.
Go ahead.
The hate you gave little infants fucks everyone.
That
So,
is
I mean, and that's a crass way of saying, like, they need to be boys need to be part of a community too. And when the message being sent to them all over, the culture is that, they're a problem
mm-hmm.
and that there's no empathy directed towards them, they fucking will lash out.
Mm-hmm.
So like the radicalization that Brittany Cooper is afraid of
Mm-hmm.
could be obviated by doing the exact opposite of what she actually calls for.
Mm-hmm.
Not bringing them under criminal purview or criminal surveillance, but actually having some empathy and providing them a means by which to actually interpolate into the culture without being derided, mischaracterized, and stereotyped, and being perceived as the repository of all fucking evil on the earth.
Yep.
That's for Brittany Cooper.
Our favorite professor.
But I know she won't tune in to shit I got to say.
She gonna hear about it. She hears about everything because we got a lot of spies that go back and tell.
But look, all I'm saying is, in relation to, the kind of the shit that these men are going through and boys are going through, if they actually were perceived as human beings
Mm-hmm.
worthy of love and that are actually able to show and demonstrate their vulnerabilities,
Mm-hmm.
like even a space like the Manosphere, instead of calling it a radicalization space, call it a space where actually men are venting about what they're actually frustrated about, and as a symptom or a sign of social malady, such that some of the shit that they are discussing can be rectified. But it would take somebody who actually gives a fuck about an ideology other than their own, or who gives a fuck about human beings despite whether or not they got uteri or testicles.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's when it comes time to make either the rubber hit the road or like a motherfucker to actually, put their money where their mouth is. Because if you actually give a fuck about humanity like you say you do, and you care about justice like you say you do, you can't be so fucking narrow-minded as to only give a fuck only about your own gender. That's just not how that's not how a society is supposed to work.
Yeah. Even according to them.
That's not how this shit is supposed to work. So I think, at the end of the day, man, them motherfuckers need to start abiding by their own precepts and principles, man. I mean, you're gonna the same wind that you throwing can be thrown back at you like a motherfucking hurricane, or not a hurricane, a tornado.
Mm-hmm.
It'll twist your ass back up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So
It's called.
That's my
It's
sentiments about it. I'm just tired of all these women who find fault in boys and men when they basically pull the rug from underneath men.
mm-hmm.
And then they wonder why these motherfuckers are falling and are lashing out. To me, it makes no sense.
Well,
And then the argument that, all men are privileged qua being men.
yeah,
All men pose a threat or are dangerous qua being men.
right.
I mean, these are just superficial ideological arguments that have no basis in ontological reality.
Yeah, but the thing is that then they believe in nature rather than nurture when it fits them.
Yeah, well,
Because,
hey, man, these people have to look. I've always said this,
mm-hmm.
and I'll say this again just to make my discourse explicit as possible. Men are capable of being vicious. Women are capable of being vicious. There's nobody who's perfect related to a gender. Now, we could talk about historical, injustices that men perform and that women perform. Is it the case that war is something that men primarily engage in? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But the idea that like only men are brutal, it's not truthful. Like you have to actually close your eyes in order to, not see some of the brutality and selfishness and viciousness of women.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have your eyes closed when it comes to when men engage in such behavior. But you literally have to close your eyes and not see it on purpose. And that's what men are saying. Like, you can't deny. See, they have their standpoint epistemology, but it only works for them, right? Like all women know certain things because they're positioned in a certain kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But perhaps it's the case that men know some shit because they're positioned in the world in a particular kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to go too far off on a tangent, man. I could,
Yeah, because what they're doing is basically they believe in the nurture over nature unless it actually works for them. Like if that was the case, then you can teach men or boys shouldn't be any more violent or anything else like that, according to what they learn. If it's just nurture, you teach them all the same. They should all be the same, but they're not. So why is the nature argument against boys and not for you?
And this next quote that she has, in femcel discourse, it does tend to be much more turned inward on the self.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of boys are beating themselves up as well.
Yeah.
And yeah, do they get mad at the world? Boys get mad at the world? Yes. Do women get mad at the fucking world? Yes.
Yes, they do. And men and boys, young boys commit suicide far more than females.
But their counter is going to be, well, women are tempted more.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I had that gun to my head and I tried to pull that trigger.
And I missed at close range.
That's cruel to say, man. I don't want to make light of that shit, though. We're not in any way making fun of suicide.
No.
That's not the point here. But I mean, the point here is that both men and women need help when it comes to depression. Okay? And if the need is not addressed, then it results in externalities which we don't desire. So, they say an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, let's do a fucking ounce of prevention instead of pounds of cures. Let's make a push for that. Anyway,
if they cared about the boys in the first place.
Well, I think that they do care. They just don't realize that they care. They care about it in a narrow way, okay. But they need to be more open and broad in the way that they approach what's going on with men. They need to have empathy for these guys and stop seeing them as subhuman and expendable.
Mm-hmm.
That's what needs to happen. And they need to leave alone this whole rhetoric of oppression and domination according to a Marxian heuristic. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Especially as it pertains to outgroup men, especially as it pertains to black men. I said this shit a long time ago. Like, Native Americans got a high divorce rate too. But you'd be hard-pressed to find a Native American woman just calling her husband coward. You're a coward. You men are cowards.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just haven't heard that kind of conversation, especially in the public.
They don't.
You ever heard, like, Native American men are trash. You ever heard
No,
that shit?
I've never heard that.
I've never heard like Asian women talk about how trashy Asian men are.
No,
I mean, they went through a whole bunch of discrimination in American culture, man. Like, the Chinese Exclusion Act and all kind of shit. You ever heard Jewish men get called, you Jewish men are fucking trash after the Holocaust shit?
No, never.
I've never heard of the shit. Like, I've never heard it, bro. I've never heard of such fuckery.
Nope.
But here we get a healthy dose of it.
Yeah, well, we have a unique culture. Let's put it that way. The Negro, because you call him black, it kind of gets too far afield. I had to specify. The Negro American has a unique culture.
Man, it is unique.
Oh yeah, well,
it is unique, man. It's unique
studied.
as a motherfucker. Like, god damn, this some special kind of shit here, man. But anyway, she goes on to say, the author does, this inward-facing posture contributes to the difficulty in estimating the group's size and summarizing its positions. When the most well-known Reddit forum specifically for femcels, True Femcels, was banned from the platform in June 2020, it had just over 25,000 members. That's a lot of fucking members, bro.
It is, yeah.
The subreddit was one of 2,000 forums banned for promoting hate after a major change to Reddit's content policies. Now, why would they be considered to be a hate group? They must have been saying some radical shit in there, okay?
Yeah.
They had to have been.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Reddit's... It wasn't as nice as this article makes it out to be.
It says a Reddit spokesperson declined to provide more detail on the decision. The larger Vindictica subreddit was created as a space for femcels to discuss looks maxing or improving their physical appearance with a combination of soft makeup and hard plastic surgery approaches. But has recently seen a diluting influx of non-femcels looking for beauty advice and sometimes offering words of encouragement. This has caused problems. Reminder to femcels, people who lie and tell you that you look fine the way you are not on your side.
You're starting to like them more and more, huh?
Well, I mean, at least they keeping it real. They benefit from you remaining ugly and not fixing your looks because it makes them more attractive relative to you.
That is true.
Look, this could be one of two things. Either one, these women know that these other women are ugly, or, these women are just like enculturated to think that, like there's somebody for everybody, or you're not as ugly as you think you are.
Everybody gets a trophy. Everybody is equally beautiful, right? According to feminists.
But this is what I'll say. Sometimes people can think that they're less attractive than they actually are. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know what I'm saying? Like, when the mirror doesn't lie, but sometimes you can lie to yourself. You understand what I mean?
Yeah.
And psych yourself out of actually being, as successful with the opposite sex as you can be.
Yeah, you perceive yourself as less than you are.
That can happen. Now, I mean, it's one thing if you butt hurt, but but take the woman, for example, in the thumbnail. Okay. That's not the most attractive lady in the world. But when I see her, I don't see hideous.
Yeah. She's average.
You get what I'm saying? And I wish I had a copy of the thumbnail I could put up, but I'm not about to go through all that shit right now. Okay. But you get my picture, right?
Yeah.
She's not like, oh my God, oh. Because there's some motherfuckers you look at like, that motherfucker is ugly.
Yeah, they're below average. They're twos and threes. Okay, they're below average.
Like, boy, you got hit with the ugly stick.
God didn't bless you that day, okay?
Man, you
God
got hit
bless your
with the
mother that
turd. You got hit with the shit stick.
day.
And skin color ain't got shit to do with it, because I done seen some
No.
white motherfuckers that got hit with the ugly stick.
No.
So let's stop the colorism shit. This ain't
Because
got nothing. There's some
because
pretty black motherfuckers out there.
yeah, that ugly stick is generational curse, okay?
Stop that shit. All light skinned and white motherfuckers ain't beautiful. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, now femcells are scattered across what Kay tentatively calls the Femisphere. Why do these motherfuckers always gotta jack the shit that motherfuckers doing over here?
Because
man?
they have no imagination. Like the pink pill is the red pill for women.
Man, you know, like, now I feel like Jay Electronica or some shit. The rapper, like, you jacking our swag. You know, used to disrespect us. Now you fucking jacking our swag. Like swagger jackers, biters. That's what they used to call them back in the day when I was a kid. You biter. You bite my style, you know what I'm saying?
Style, yep.
But I'm an OG. Did I tell you I'm gonna be 51 3 days from now, man? GG in this bitch, you better recognize.
Crossing over, ball. Old Negro territory, man.
Man, you young motherfuckers ain't got no respect, man. You say you want a patriarchy, but you don't even respect old motherfuckers. Like, that shit fucks me up, man. Like, don't you know, like, the first precondition is to be able to show some respect to your fucking men, the elders.
Mm-hmm.
That's a precondition of patriarchy.
Yeah. Yeah. To the patriarch, you know, because they respect the matriarch, which is grandma. You know, big mama, mud deer. They respect her.
Hey,
That's why, you know,
look, so we got, hold on, Jervis. So Jervis Horton said, where's the female mass shooter at? I mean, shit, bro.
There has been. There's
I mean, you know, come on, man. To act like there had never been.
Oh yeah, there's one in San Diego.
There's to act as if there have never ever been a fucking mass female shooter. You got Tashfeen Malik in San Bernardino who killed 14 motherfuckers. You got Jennifer San Marco who shot up the fucking post office and killed 6 people. You want to know? I'm gonna show you the shit. You got Brenda Spencer who shot a fucking elementary school. She only killed 2 people though, so that I ain't gonna say that's a lot. Amy Bishop, University of Alabama, killed 3. I mean, to act like this shit, like women have never done any of this shit. Yeah. Like, come on, bro.
It's not as common, but it's not rare.
Come on, bro. Like, look, we like, look, I'm not saying that men don't do this more than women. But in all due honesty, where do you see black mass shooters at? I mean, I'm not saying it doesn't happen, because there have been a few cases in which you have had black men engage in mass shooting, but not near the magnitude of white dudes.
Yeah, well, white women probably have more mass shooters than black men.
I'm just saying. So, I mean, you know, this shit, like, I just like to tell the truth. And you know what? The truth doesn't really matter about your feelings, or it doesn't matter about your opinions, right? So, but I will be on the record as saying that men do this shit more than women do in terms of mass shooting.
Yes.
Because they handle depression differently. And quite frankly, women are actually able to express their depression and their sorrow, whereas men aren't allowed very much so at all. You know, we get called for exercising the capacity to show vulnerability. You know what we get called?
What?
betas, pussies, lames, punks, bitch ass niggas, and whiners. Am I lying?
No, you're not. You're not.
Even in this space, you'll hear people say, well, stop crying. Like, goddamn, nigga, like, what the fuck, bruh?
What do you want? Yeah, what do you want?
Like, I mean, can I show some goddamn vulnerability ever? I am a fucking human being. I'm not made of fucking nails and iron and steel. Not made. My heart ain't titanium, motherfucker.
You're supposed to be John Wayne.
They want you to be vibranium and shit.
Yeah.
Like I'm straight out of the motherfucking Wakanda somewhere.
In Baku.
Like I'm from I am from that gorilla clan, but god damn, man. Can you show some compassion? I mean, look. A family member dies, you're gonna show some fucking sorrow, bro. You're gonna, if you care for that family member. Right? You're gonna feel a certain kind of way.
Yep.
Okay? You lose a loved one in a relationship. Like, you see a bitch with her legs up somewhere. Getting reamed out by the big dick dank.
I knew that was coming.
You're going to be hurt.
You're going to be, hurt. Not to work. We're going to be broken.
You're going to be like,
You'll be Lenny Williams for sure, huh? You'll curl up with that big old ball and die, huh?
Man, you're going to be like. Yo, man, you gonna be like this, baby. You gonna be like, oh shit. You gonna be in your feelings.
Oh man.
You gonna be in your feelings. You gonna be upset. But the whole point is that, like I try to tell men, all that alpha shit, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
The John Henry shit.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, like, if you catch a cold, it's a natural process, right?
Right.
If you ever have a moment of weakness or vulnerability,
mm-hmm.
It's not natural, though. Because, not for you, because you the nigga, the nigga. Like, I mean, come on, man.
Thugs don't cry, man.
Man, shit. I shed so many tears and lost so many pigs. When thugs cry. That's all they talk about in these thug songs, man. They pain. Like, I mean, listen to the shit.
Yeah.
It's pain associated with that shit.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, of course, we can't show it. We can't express it. Because, that's some feminine shit. And the funny shit is that women are the main ones that want you to change and be different and shit, but them the same motherfuckers telling you don't show no weakness.
Yeah, you gotta be hard.
Like, come on, man. Like, come on, man. There's shit out here that hurts men's feelings, man. Now, I ain't saying to wallow in despair and quit and just give the fuck up. Like, that's not what I'm saying. That's not the conversation that I'm trying to have here. I'm not saying wallow in despair and just give up and give in and sit on a big stump and don't fucking do anything ever in life because it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying sink into the depths of nihilism. All I'm saying is the damn men get depressed, and the most man, I thought I tried to demonstrate to you motherfuckers that it's the men from the wealthier classes who are the most depressed. Black boys.
Yeah.
From the highest income families are the most fucking depressed.
Yeah. And much more is expected out of them. Because
they're the most depressed.
Yeah, they are.
And I also tried to demonstrate, like, Asari and Curry, did a, but they didn't really actually do a study, but they wrote an article that revealed from various studies that black men who are successful and from the middle class, upper middle classes, they're the most depressed.
Okay.
Severe symptoms of depression. But you would think it would be the other way. Like people from the hood or whatever. It's the proximity to whiteness, man. in a racist society, I think that's the issue here. And are racial relations improving? Well, it all depends on how you look at it. Okay, but it's the microaggressions, it's the expectations,
right.
It's the self-doubt.
Yeah,
it's like the non-relatability, the artificiality. I know what this shit feel. Look, trust me, I've been around white folks from wealthy positions a whole lot of times. Yeah. One thing I don't do is I don't change my tone. I don't change how I talk or with them or to them. Because I'm intelligent enough to hold a conversation and still be myself. A lot of motherfuckers, they get to change in tonal inflections and shit.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Like I can't live like that, bro. Yeah, that's some shit I can't do, bro. They already think you cooler than them anyway.
Yeah, but
I ain't got to I don't have to be extra nigger. You know what I'm saying? Like, but like I'm like how I am now, I'm like this with everybody all the time, man. So you're not about to make me code switch so much so that I don't. You ever see if it was the one movie, man, where the brother, man, was the little skinny dude that was used to be on In Living Color. What, Tommy Davidson, I think his name is?
Yeah. Yep.
He was in some movie where he was like, or was it another guy? It wasn't them old blacks movies back, dating and relationships and shit like that when he was young. He was a newscaster, and the more he was on a news show, he turned into a white guy. Shit. Yeah. I can't do all that, bro.
Yeah, that's the code switching. Yep.
But anyway, man, I am getting off on a tangent, man. They got the Femisphere. Some left Reddit altogether, moving instead to a small Femcel specific board on the Reddit lookalike site, the Pink Pill, which has only about 580 members. Another reason the Femcel culture is difficult to visualize and comprehend, they're unwanted even in many women-only spaces. So they sometimes hide or are hidden. They were tolerated in the notorious female dating strategy subreddit for a while, but were later kicked out. The Forever Alone Women subreddit welcomes them, but forbids the use of any incel or femcel lingo. Only women-only 4chan-like image board called Laughing Out Loud Cow for LOLcow.farm has a reputation as another site that femcels have drifted to and is covered with femcel lingo, but violently denied their presence there when I posted on the site about this story. They're a fringe group that is mostly a meme, one commenter wrote. Femcels aren't real, another added. Femcels are real and their existence has meaning, but thinking of them as a unified group with specific political goals is less useful than thinking of them as overlooked individuals who are now being swept around the web, sometimes letting their insecurities and resentments lead them into unproductive conversations. The architecture of many of the forums, they've ended up in encouraging defensiveness, border patrolling, exclusion, even aggression. The one that is denied by the feminist professor. For instance, while femcel culture is not inherently transphobic, there is an overlap or amenability to transphobia. Kay told me. Look here, man. This is why. If there are some men who could dress up like women and look better than some women.
Ooh, that's true.
Now, I'm not saying no homo, but I'm saying if you got a pretty face, you got a symmetrical face, it just is what it is.
And the right makeup, yeah.
Now, if I'm lying, I want one of you motherfuckers to tell me I'm lying.
That's why they call them transformers.
Now, there are like take for example, like somebody like this Laverne Cox, right?
Yeah.
That still look like a man to me.
Yeah.
That's not like a passing trans woman to me.
Yeah.
Okay? Northside STL, what's up, baby? Kasuth and Fair, you better hear me. You don't know. They don't know, man. They don't know, man. I'm Northside, baby. Better ask a motherfucker about it. Like, I don't want to get into that right now, but I saw one of my dudes out there put that shit out there, man. But what's the other woman like? What's let me hold on. Let me see. I'm trying to find this motherfucker. If I put like black trans women, they got it incorporated, huh? Okay, yeah, I don't see the motherfucker I'm looking for. Famous black trans women. How about that shit?
Yeah.
Okay, take this motherfucker right here. Now, she still look like a dude to me, right?
Yeah. But it's closer.
But she, in terms of like attractiveness in the face, she look better than the average and best women, don't she?
Yes, she does.
I'm just keeping it 100, man. No homo.
Yeah, she does. A lot better. Yeah, a lot better.
I'm just keeping it a buck here.
Yeah. even with makeup, yeah.
I mean, I'm just keeping it a buck. No homo.
Where do you think all the women learn their makeup tips from?
Gay dudes.
Gay dudes and Transformers.
So can you imagine the shock that it would come to a woman who like is like, I can't get a fucking man to save my life. And look at this trans bitch. And she's got heterosexual men dripping all over her fucking Transformer ass.
Yeah, they're the ones that say trans women are women. Okay. They're the ones put it out there. Even in this video, we talk about transphobic.
I'm just keeping it a buck.
Mm-hmm. So
anyway, the architecture of many of their forums, they've ended up in I've been over that, encourages defensiveness, border patrolling, exclusion, even aggression. For instance, while femcel culture is not inherently transphobic, there is an overlap or amenability to transphobia, Kay told me. Femcels especially now tend to find themselves on identity-based forums that are fixated on biological essentialist ideas of gender. Women are like this, men are like that. As Kay put it, more stagnant than revolutionary. These spaces do just kind of become inward-looking, very defensive, rather than about imagining radical new futures, she said. In the past year, the term femcel is taking a surprising turn. It has been adopted by the mainstream internet. On Twitter, it's an easy synonym for depressed or not dating right now. On Instagram, it's a sort of funny word to pair with a baffling meme or a picture in which you actually look really hot and disaffected. It's newly popular on TikTok, which has seen an odd trend towards semi-ironic sex negativity, which is what in the fuck is that?
You're the doc. You break it down, man.
Semi-ironic sex negativity. Like, hold on, man. What in the fuck is that, bro? I'm not going to even get into it right now. That's just semi-erotic sex. Oh, man. What the fuck? Okay. That's just, to me, that's word salad. But anyway.
It is. They can never keep it simple, huh?
Yeah, that's just too much, man. That's too much. I done lost. Okay, there. And on Tumblr, it's the latest word for describing your basic Tumblr user, romantic loner who likes to blog.
Okay.
The era of the incel is over. The era of the femcel has begun, reads a tweet that has been circulating as a meme. It sounds like people who are not really femcels hijacking what they're going through.
Yeah.
Okay, and utilizing it for their own kind of purposes, you know?
Yeah, the victim Olympics.
The text appears above a graph that shows an increase of a number of women under the age of 35 who say they have not had sex in the past year. That's not a fucking femcel, miss.
No, it's not.
Okay? Anyway, it's like an appropriation of ugly girl culture, Amanda said. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
When I asked her about the diffusion of the term, I did kind of get that old feeling of like, you guys are not part of the group. You're too pretty to be a part of this group. So now we're talking about select and non-select shit, right? On Tumblr in particular, the word is totally divorced from its original meaning and is followed by the natural goofy path of any internet word that is perceived to confer edginess and intrigue. Leela, a 21-year-old Tumblr user, recently used Femcel tag used the Femcel tag on a post that reads in curling cursive script, asking myself if I can cook my instant noodles with vodka instead of water. The tropes of the toxic loner are not just for boys, she told me. I agreed to only use her first name because she was worried about the harassment. Tumblr users are adding Femcel to images of antisocial icons like the super skinny and delusional Natalie Portman in Black Swan, the Lisbon sisters of the Virgin Suicides, and of course Lana Del Rey, from whom they learned of the joys of cigarettes and cherry schnapps. I just thought the word was funny and maybe even a little shocking. Hannah, a 19-year-old Tumblr user who also tagged some of her posts with Femcel, told me. I knew it would get people's attention. Most of my posts are ironic. Okay, so now we're giving some insight into what it is that this word salad was, okay? I've been in a relationship with my boyfriend for over 2 years. Bitch, you're not a Femcel.
Shock value.
Right. She doesn't want her identity associated with her Tumblr account. Anyway, a silly or maybe even annoying as that may be, using the word Femcel more likely could hold some promise. Its literal use has been nearly tapped out. At the personal level, true Femcels see two main options for themselves. They either give up on love and society altogether, vowing to lie here and rot, or devote themselves to ascending through rigorous self-improvement and sometimes dangerous body modification. Like getting your ass injected with silicone. Anyway, broadly speaking, they're finding their way to extremes, but not toward anything revolutionary. A smaller number have recognized a more politically hopeful third option, Kay told me, which is to give up on men, but not the world. In abandoning heterosexuality, they work on finding joy and intimacy in other ways. Or focusing on other areas of life which are not to do with romance and sex.
They're mimicking the boys. That's what they're doing.
Yeah, I think so. Used more airily, the term Femcel still highlights certain contradictions in contemporary life. There are many people who are experiencing similar, less articulated anxiety about their place in the gender order and about the pressure to locate happiness through sex and romance, which they must find through success in a marketplace. The 21st century was supposed to bring a wider range of options than this, but to many, it doesn't appear to have. There are still winners and losers, Kay argues. She also cites the feminist philosopher Amiya Srinivasan's 2018 essay on incels, Does Anyone Have the Right to Sex? In it, Srinivasan wonders how to dwell in the ambivalent place where we acknowledge that no one is obligated to desire anyone else, that no one has a right to be desired, but also that who is desired and who isn't is a political question. I think that that's true.
Really?
Femcels dwell... Go ahead.
Yeah, no, why so?
Well,
who isn't it a political question? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
well, I mean, put it this way. You can't make somebody fuckable, okay?
True.
But and the reason I say it's political is because we already know that the primary drives on the planet, I mean, by natural law, as it's traditionally understood by scholastic philosophers and shit like that. I mean, one of the primary drives that you have is self-defense and, reproduction.
Yes, self-preservation and reproduction, yeah.
And if it's the case that that's one of your primary functions, biological functions as a human being, and perhaps maybe the imagery from the media society at large is what's
Okay.
creating the conditions which give rise to people being perceived as
Okay.
so-called non-select.
Okay.
So that's why it would be political to me in any way.
Okay. All right.
Right.
Agreed. Okay.
But I wouldn't say that there's some shit that you got to put on a political docket, but it's worthy of attention, you know, in a social philosophical kind of way. It's worthy of attention being paid to it in relation to thought.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying. Yeah. Okay. I
Now,
see it.
do I think that, you know, we should have like political parties related to, you know, with agendas on their dockets related to desirability? Probably not. Okay. No. But I mean, you know, just thinking about this shit in general, right? I think that there's unrealistic expectations about how you're supposed to look and what your prospects are in dating and mating in general.
Okay.
In this culture, right? And I do think, you know, that the media has a part to play in this shit, man. I mean, motherfuckers that's in the media don't look like how they fucking look on these goddamn pics.
No, they don't. They don't.
You see what I'm saying?
And they're not supposed to. They're supposed to actually elicit a response because they're a product. They're not really a person.
Yeah, I mean, dude, a photo that's edited and airbrushed and all of that kind of shit, man, that's not how these people look, man.
Yeah, but I did one of the episode, the reality show where Average is Best was actually on. Those were not the prettiest women in the world, so they weren't airbrushed. Okay, these are not select women. So I think politics is bringing down the mean of the look towards where the average woman is actually desired, which is what I think they really want. The average at best woman to be the ideal beauty marker.
But that's not gonna happen. Okay, and look, all I can tell you is, look, if you're an average man, shoot for what's good for you. Like, you can shoot above it, but when you shoot above it, understand what you're shooting for. Because just like a man who's got a lot of money, they got a lot of options. A woman is pretty with a big old fat ass and titties hanging everywhere. She got a lot of options as well. I'm just saying, like, I mean, understand like what your options are and what your prospects are in the game that you're playing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you might find a down home, like Beyonce is a pretty woman. She don't perceive me as whorish in relation to how she's raised.
No.
That's just, you know, like, she's a pretty lady, but she doesn't, you won't see her walking around with thought, like, I'm a thought. I'm a slut.
No,
Blackers and shit at a feminist rally.
No, she's the exact opposite. If she's not on stage, the exact opposite.
I'm just saying, like, I mean, you know, just know where you fit into the game. And every now and then you're going to get something that's hot. But it ain't yours. You can't handcuff it. It ain't yours. That's the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, I'm not saying, you know, think of everything as a cesspool, like, but this ain't the olden days, bro. This all this going back to the patriarchy, you're gonna find a woman that's all yours and she mine and she gonna be down and all this. Bruh, that ain't how the world working about now.
Nah, what does Donovan Sharp say? She's not yours, it's just your turn.
Bro, I'd be lying if I told you that like a couple of married women within the last 3 months was fucking, you know, trying to holler at me.
Oh, you know, that's
married.
Yeah, come on now. Come on, G. That's been
I'm
most of your life.
You know, but I don't do that, man. I'm not trying to get shot up.
Well, you know, you've been approached like that most of your life.
I'm not getting shot up fucking with no bras, man. You know, because a nigga will dig and find out where this chick was.
Yeah, they will.
You know what I'm saying? Now if she like divorced from that cat, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. But when you going to sleep with this motherfucker, man, I'm not fucking around with that, bro. I'm not doing that, bro.
He may have followed you to the motel, so.
That's not something I engage in, bro. I don't dirty Mac, man. Now, if I don't know, it ain't nothing I can do.
Okay.
You understand what I'm saying?
Most married women don't tell you that they're married. That's what I found out.
Some of them motherfuckers married and straight married. The game is like, if they more masculine now, why would they give a fuck?
They know. They know it's much more dangerous for the man if they're married. A lot of married women won't tell you that they're married. I see more married men tell you that they'll tell a woman that he's married than the other way around. Every married woman that's actually approached me, she never says that she's married. Got to find out.
Man, I done had women I know married, and they know I know they married, and they like, how you doing?
They're shooting their shot, baby.
How you doing? And I'm like, man, I'm doing swell. How you doing? But we ain't doing that. And to come out and tell you, because some of them I done smashed before. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
Cool, but I mean, like, hey, boo, you know what I'm saying? I thought you was married and had a baby and shit.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm supposed to do with that?
Mm-hmm.
Because you mad at this dude right now, I'm supposed to just come smash you and make you feel better. That you using me.
Yeah, you're a concubine, sir.
No, I'm not going to be used. No.
Yeah, you heard that? You hear about that? Concubine.
No,
Service.
Man,
service with a smile, G.
To be frank, I've never been that way.
Okay.
I've never been, even in my honey hole days, excuse me. Even then, I was not like, okay, if a woman ever say, I got a man, I'm like, okay, go, I'm out. I'm entangled. I'm out. I'm not fucking with your entanglement. I'm not getting entangled.
Oh, boy.
Because that's too much drama. And niggas will kill you over a chick, man.
That's true. That's true. Although I will tell you, married women make the best side chicks.
Hey, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I just, because you ain't got to really actually take them on no dates and then you just smash them
smash them and gone. They don't have to worry about emotional entanglements.
Hey, I mean, hey, it's cool. Yeah, I mean, shit. I just don't want to get, I was raised as a Catholic, man, so that's probably it.
Oh, it has a big thing to do with it.
That might have something to do with it, man. I ain't fucking the preacher's wife, bro. I just don't want to do it, man.
You a Baptist, it would be no big deal, okay? It'd be
I just don't want to smash the preacher's wife, bro.
Or the
I think I'll be going straight to hell, man. You know what I'm saying? Straight to hell. Like, damn, They say do not commit adultery. I mean, they also say don't fornicate, but damn, that ain't in the 10 Commandments, like, shit. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, man, I'm glad that you came here to have this conversation, man. We just basically went over what a femcel is. Yeah. It's a group of women who feel like, I guess what incels feel like, but the differentiation that the feminists is making is that these women don't lash out like men. They don't feel like they have a right to sexual availability of partners. Whereas men feel like, okay, where are women? Like, why don't we get chose up?
Yeah. And plus the pressure on men to actually go out and hunt is different. Women are not expected to go out and approach and hunt. So the pressure is different. The social pressure is actually different. So it's not internal, it's also external.
Yeah, one of the things also that, you need to be mindful of as a man, fuck what these other dudes telling you about getting women. Because, first of all, women cost money.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying? Quickest way to go broke is fucking around with women.
Yeah, I found that out.
Number 2, quickest way to get jammed up in the family court system is fucking with women.
Yep.
Fuckest way to derail yourself on your path is fucking with women who don't have your interest at heart.
Yep.
So really, actually, you're basically sidestep a whole host of issues and problems.
Yep.
And don't even know.
That poontang comes with a price, sir.
That's why Love Dorsey said a long time ago. She was like, shit. You don't know the cost that come with the pussy. I forgot what how she talk, man. Love Dorsey be talking, spitting. She a pretty black little motherfucker, little ghetto chick, but
yeah.
But I mean, it's the cost that come with that shit, man.
Yeah, it does. It does.
And you be, she like Love Doors, like you be just thinking you just smashing shit, you doing some shit that's fun. But no, nigga, you gonna pay for that.
And they in their heads, that's what they're saying. You're gonna pay for this.
Just cost.
Pay me now or pay me later.
I gotta put that clip up, but she gonna probably flag me if I put that shit up.
Nah,
But I gotta react to it if I do. You know what I'm saying? I
nah,
can't just put it up.
nah.
I gotta react to that shit.
Oh, she's all over the internet, all over the YouTube. She probably won't.
But like I mean, it's a lot of truth in that, man. Like, stop breaking yourself, because a lot of these dudes are doing this shit in order to demonstrate that they're men to other men.
Yeah.
Don't do that for them. Don't go out and chase women for other men, man.
Yeah.
To demonstrate that you're a ladies' man, or you're manly, or or you're an alpha, all this shit. I'm so sick of these niggas with all this bullshit on the internet talking about, I'm gonna teach you how to be an alpha man and all this. They sitting on the couch by themselves and shit. Ain't no bitches around them. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like they like Hugh Hefner and it's like motherfuckers coming in. How would you like your tea, baby? Them niggas sitting in the crib by themselves, rubbing their hands or talking on the couch or some shit. Like, come on, man, cut it out, bro. You gonna give me $1 million worth of game? The game is in you. The game is you.
Yeah, yeah.
Just be prepared for rejection. Ain't nobody got 100% conversion rate in sales, in sports. Ain't nobody gonna stand at the free throw line and hit 100% the whole season.
Nope. Yep.
You understand?
And you gotta get out there and practice to actually play the game.
You can't win if you don't play.
You can't win if you don't play.
And stop trying to play with the phone. Stop trying to play with the apps. Play in the real world. That's where the players really play.
Every guy that claimed to be an incel that I asked, because they're big on the 80-20 rule, right? 80% of guys won't get any sex. I said, prove it to me. He said, well, it's in the phone. It's right here. Look at this app. I said, but that's not real life. But to them, it is. It's the cave.
Man, look here, man. Well, how do you rank women, BGS? How do you rank them? You got like what class? How they go?
Oh, talking about the octanes?
Yeah. Tell me how that shit go.
Okay, okay. 85s are the what I call the survival, right? The ghetto chicks, project chicks, street chicks, right? 85. Working class is 87 octane, right? Which is what the bulk of what cars use is 87 octane gas, right? So the bulk of women are going to be working class, right?
Right.
Okay. Next step up is what I call bohemian, or the failed 92 class, was 89. They're educated, they got a degree, but they never actualize it, right? Those are the struggle class, right? And then the 92s is where you are, right? Which is educated, corporate, close to 6 figures, maybe above, a little bit more bougie, a little bit more, knowledgeable. Okay. And then the 100 octane class, okay, probably you too, baller class, right? High level drug dealer, athlete, actor, entertainer, what have you, right? Those are the guys that are 100 octane, who have wealth, fame, and status. Okay, same for the same thing for the women. Women are the guy that you can attract is where your class is. If you're a working class woman, you attract a working class guy because that's what you look will get you. 87 woman, because you don't have an education, blah blah blah. But that's how the classes actually work. And same thing with women.
I would tell these guys, man, if you're having some insecurities, man, fuck with one of these femcels, man. Make their day.
yeah.
If you that damn, insecure, go up to a femcel, man, and make her day, man.
The thing is, the femcels and the incels don't like each other, which is weird to me.
Hey, man, you better long time ago, motherfucker told me 2 nickels make a dime, nigga.
Yeah, the incels are praying for. Believe it or not, a lot of incels are praying for the artificial doll, right? The what is it? The what is it? AI doll that comes together. This a human replicant. That's what they're praying for.
Man, you need to cut that shit out, bro. Look,
I'm serious. They're
these
waiting for
guys need to stop it, man. Hey,
they're waiting
look,
for the advanced sex dolls.
man, look. At the end of the day, man,
Mhm.
if you like motherfuckers want intimacy. They just don't want sex. They're gonna want intimacy. And I don't give a fuck, man. You're not gonna create a goddamn doll that's gonna like be able to interact with you like a human being.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, and if they can, I'll be surprised as a motherfucker. Like human beings are radically advanced in relation to how they're able to relate to each other.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like if you got a doll, that motherfucker gonna be autistic, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they might be able to calculate, you know, like a fucking computer, but that don't mean they can sit down and have a conversation with you and laugh about your day and talk to you like a human being. You know what I'm saying? So like these motherfuckers really are missing intimacy, not just sex.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, they can go get lube and some fucking go look at the Instagram models and bust a nut. But the reality is they want to actually have interactions and intimacy with another human being.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's the only way you're going to get that is to go out and fuck with somebody and fuck with people at your level, bruh.
Mm-hmm.
And you might be a higher level yourself than you think you are.
A lot of these guys are. A lot of these guys are not just the average Joe sitting on the couch. They actually have degrees.
You might be, and you might, you know, like, I mean, you know, I don't know. I done seen ugly dudes be max of the year, man.
Yeah. I know a few.
I'm just keeping it 100. Like, dudes, I mean, yeah, and, you know, I'm not no homo. I'm just saying, like, I'm just trying to keep it real. Like, you know, some dudes, man, just got, like, they the shit.
You see
You know
the
what I'm
ugly,
saying? Like, they got good personalities.
well, the thing is, ugly dudes got to have game, man. They work at it. I mean, they really work at it, and they perfect it. And actually, ugly dudes are better at game than the average dudes.
Man, work on your game, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Work on your game, bro. Like, I mean, but don't work on it too hard. Cause it's, you know, like, it's something you gotta do in practice, man. I mean, you know, while you're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But you'll never be able to do it if you don't do it at all. Just like you'll never be able to hit a home run if you never swing at the goddamn ball.
Yeah.
So, you know, that's just how I feel about it, man. But, you know, the Femcel, man, like, look, you ain't like a lot of guys think that they're the only ones that's going through this shit. You ain't the only motherfuckers going through this shit, man. There's girls out here going through this shit too.
Same thing. The ability, they're losing the ability to actually connect with each other, and that's the problem that's going on.
But I think that's indicative of the way society is now at the current moment anyway. And this is like why Heidegger is important.
Yeah.
And, you know, like the technological mode of being, how it's fucking disrupting.
It is.
Intimacy and like different areas of activity that like lead to excellence amongst human beings. You know what I'm saying? Like, put the phone down, put the computer down, and go outside, man.
How long
Stop fucking with the video game, man, and go outside.
How long have we been saying that?
Take your ass outside, man. Go outside, man, and look at some motherfuckers. Don't look too long. Don't stare. You know what I'm saying? But like, one of the things you guys can do is like at least say, like, even if you don't holler at the chick, just talk.
Yeah.
How you doing? Like, and don't be like, hey, hi, I thought you were so pretty. Like,
yeah,
just talk about some bullshit. Like, that's my game is always, can I have a conversation with this motherfucker first about something stupid?
Mm-hmm.
Like the way I used to go clubbing was by myself. I never would take a whole bunch of motherfuckers so I could stand there and just drink with them all fucking night. Mm-hmm. And if I did go with some guys, I'm getting little on them. I'm like Mario in the video game. I'm getting real small in the club. Where is he at? Well, here he is now. They call me Lucky anyway, but like, where Luck at? Mm-hmm. I'm sitting next to two motherfuckers. I bought two bitches a drink. How about that? I'm sitting next to both of them. How y'all doing?
Taking your swings, huh?
Swing, batter.
Well, swing.
But and then sometimes it's just sport. You might not even be trying to holler. You just trying to have a good time.
Yeah. You
What
out
happened to
there.
the Playboy? Benjamin Franklin wasn't the best looking dude, but he was known as a look up Benjamin Franklin womanizer.
Yeah, I heard about that. I
Look
heard
this shit. Hold on, man. Let me show you motherfuckers this shit. Benjamin, and then I'm out of here.
he was a wraith.
Ladies, man.
In his younger years, yes, he was. Had conversation for you.
Look. Conversation for ya. Look, you'll never think it. You know what I'm saying? You'd be like, okay, who? Because Alexander Hamilton was so-called more handsome than he was. You know what I'm saying? But he was a stuffy dude that couldn't get no ass for what I understood. You know, like on the real though. Like, but Benjamin Franklin was like that cool ass dude.
That ugly dude that got game.
Got game. Let me show you this shit. Hold on. From card to card pieces, Benjamin Franklin's Guide to Food and Sex. This motherfucker drawing up motherfucker. Peel sketch of Franklin with a lady. Franklin like, shit, what's up, boo-boo? But anyway, Franklin tells, I mean, there are stories out there that just kind of show Franklin in his womanizing ways. Now, that's not like this handsome-ass dude.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he had bread, but everybody that had bread wasn't a womanizer. You feel me? That's why some of you motherfuckers gotta have this shit in your blood, man. You know what I'm saying? Franklin was a lover of knowledge, but he also was a lover. You understand? But dig a little deeper in the history books, you may be surprised to find that the genteel wise and portly old Franklin had an incontrollable weakness for the opposite sex. He fathered an illegitimate child whom his wife Deborah would eventually help raise. He was good as a motherfucker, ghetto. Franklin's libido was apparently so strong he was himself scared of it. Franklin had to get that, he had to bust that nut.
Yeah, you got to get it out. Got to get the poison out.
But the whole, like, look, all this old, what I look like a lot of these guys think it's about what they look like. It ain't just about what you look like, man. It's about what you, you know, it ain't just about what you... My bad, man. I did all that.
You got a bomb. Okay.
But anyway, brother, I appreciate you spending some time with me. We 2 hours and 30 minutes in.
Two Geminis, okay.
Yeah, man. And we didn't do no guest. I purposefully did this to where we wouldn't have any guests, man. Come in and disrupt the flow. And I think we'll do the same thing next time. But I want to get you to talk. I want to talk to you about more intricately what you asked about John Locke and how it relates to political philosophy in general.
Right.
Because that was the beginning of the ending of patriarchy. Because because the divine right of kings was based on the patriarchal arguments.
Okay.
So once they got rid of that shit, they left open the door. Like it's all this patriarchy shit it's done.
It's free for all.
Done.
Yeah, and when women wanted their peace, and John Locke actually, proposed it. It was just a blurb, but I think you were mentioning it. But the thing is, I know I saw it. John Locke say that something similar to that.
Yeah, he did. He basically, and it's an article that I want to read and go through. It's
okay,
and I'll show it to you tentatively. But the article that I have is written by a guy, and I've already highlighted the portions that I think are relevant to the discussion. And I just want to show you the article right quick. New York University School of Law. The Mother Too Hath Her Title. John Locke on Motherhood and Equality is written by Jeremy Waldron, October 2010.
Yeah.
And he gave a lecture, just Jeremy Waldron did, at the Radcliffe Institute lecture circuit or whatever, some seminar or whatever the case may be, and this was the product of it.
Yeah.
And I just kind of highlighted what I thought was relevant to the discussion at hand.
Okay.
And it's interesting to me. And it has implications for policy and, norms and political ideals later on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think you're right about, the conversation that you were having earlier today. Ain't no, bruh, patriarchy is gone in the West, dog.
Yeah.
Ain't no more patriarchy, man. It's over. It's a wrap.
Yeah.
If the children follow the woman, there's no patriarchy, man.
Right. Right. And it is spreading out throughout the rest of the world too. So it's just not limited to here. We're just at an advanced stage. When the environment was actually ready for patriarchy to leave, guess what? You don't need it anymore. So.
And another thing, like I said before, I read that book, The Anatomy of Female Power. I think Chinwezu was the name of the author.
Oh yeah.
It's three types of dudes. You got machos. That's the dudes who want the patriarchy, and the black nationalists and the alpha guys talking about you gotta be a man and these women will follow.
Mm-hmm.
Nigga, please. You know how many motherfuckers out here, man, doing the damn thing and women are like, fuck you still?
Yeah.
Fuck you pay me?
Yeah. Well, you know,
it's a laundry list of A-list guys, 100 octane motherfuckers.
Oh, yeah,
who these women like, fuck you, pay me.
Yeah, Jada Pinkett.
Okay? Then you got the mushos, which you call the simps, motherfuckers that do anything women say. Oh, the women, like we were so bad to them. And man, shut the fuck up. Then you got the masculinists. And there's very few men who are masculinists. I mean, in fact, you even start talking masculinist shit amongst machos.
Yeah.
Who basically are nest slaves. That's what Chinwezu calls them. Who feel like they got to go out and bust their ass and do everything for women, and women just sit there pointing and what the fuck he got to do.
Yeah. SWP. So.
Hey, man, I know you're in it with that dude, man. But I mean, like if your goal is to do everything you can so you can have a woman, that's tragic, bro. That should be a part of your life, not the centerpiece.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Like, don't all this niggas get into this shit to where they're obsessed by this alpha shit, like it's all they consume and think about. Like that should be one aspect of what you're doing. Like you can't just be fucking with women all the time, bro. That's fucking a distraction, man.
Well, when you define your manhood by the number of women or quality of women that you sleep with, that's when you're in trouble. Then it becomes fulfilling prophecy,
bruh. Either one thing, well, it's a lot of bad shit that can happen, but the biggest bad shit that can happen is you die of AIDS or HIV because you fucking too many bitches. Okay? You get the disease you can't get rid of. You fuck around and have babies and shit and you're paying child support. Like, come on, man. Stop fucking around making these women everything. And Benjamin Franklin was a motherfucking womanizer, but that motherfucker discovered electricity.
Yeah.
And was a statesman, writing documents like he's a founding father. God damn. Like, I mean, pay some attention to the opposite sex, but goddamn, don't make him everything. You feel me?
Yeah.
It ain't that serious, man. And these guys taking that shit way too serious, bro.
Because their identity is based on women and what women think of them.
Man, that shit right there that ain't how I grew up. That ain't how my homies are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, we gotta. You need a support network of men in your circle, man, who ain't full of that bullshit, superficial bullshit. That I mean, they'll keep you on your toes, of course, but they won't fuck with you if you're going through a rough patch. They'll build you up. You understand what I'm saying? That's the type of people you want around you, man. Not superficial niggas talking about. Did you get your pussy? Did you get some pussy? You get some pussy, man. Dude, man, get the fuck out of here with that, man. Don't worry what I'm doing with my dick. You worry about what you're doing with yours, kid. I mean, it's cool if you smash something, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, if it's to the point where they forcing you to go do this or that, like to prove that you part of the clique or something, man, that's too much, man.
Yeah, basically, yeah. That you're willing to sell yourself out for it.
That's too much, man. Yeah. But anyway, man, thank you for coming by, BG.
All right, Doc.
Black Gnostics, appreciate you. And if you're willing to still do it, I'll holler at you Monday.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I'm down. I'm down.
Yeah. Because I just want to get that, because it's something that, I want to get out of the way and give you information about.
Okay, because it's real critical, man. Because a lot of stuff that you're saying, a lot of people don't understand where this stuff comes from. Even the feminists themselves don't understand where this stuff comes from. They're just guessing. They're just following suit. The thing is, you actually trace the lineage of where these ideas actually spring from. You can actually start to understand them, and actually start to unravel them and actually decipher them. A lot of people can't. That's why this is important.
Well, I'm here to help. I can't do it. I can't do all the lifting myself, but we can lift the gym if we move every piece out of that motherfucker one
Oh,
by one. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't lift the whole goddamn gym out at the same time. But if you take a 45-pound plate, he take one,
yep.
somebody else grab the barbell, some of the dumbbell, we can get the whole thing lifted.
You get it all out, put it all in the truck, get it moved.
For sure. So peace out to y'all, man. Y'all all be good, man. I'll holler at y'all on the next one, man. And thank you, BJS, for fucking with me and coming by, bro.
All right, Doc. Anytime.
All right.
And before we are out, support your scholars, right?
Yeah, support the scholars, man. And
Support the
look,
scholar.
my birthday, man, is on the 30th, man. Fuck with your boy, man. Support the channel, man. This shit, we spending hours here, man. It's like a damn job, a part-time job.
Part-time job. Yeah. And you got a wealth of knowledge because he spent a whole lot of years gaining this knowledge. So
For sure. And I'm gonna tell you the real. I'm not gonna try to sell you no fucking manhood shit that don't meet up or match up to any semblance of reality. I'm just telling you some real shit.
mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you don't have to, like, you ain't gotta lie to kick it with me. You know what I'm saying? You know how they say you ain't got to lie to kick it. You ain't got to lie on your dick or even be stressed out about it to kick it. You know what I'm saying? Like, be who you are and be cool, comfortable in your skin and what you can do given yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't try to live up to another motherfucker's standards about what you should be doing and how you should be able to access this or that.
Yeah.
Be you.
Yeah. That's where this incel and femcel stuff comes from. They're trying to be something, live up to a standard that they're not able to. So rather than participate, they shrink back and say, I can't live up to this. That's
Man, shit, you can't. You definitely can't go in being the Mac of the year. You ain't like Drew Down and shit. You ain't never even talked to a woman. What the fuck is that about? Like you go all overnight, you just gonna be smashing everything in the club. Like, come on, man. Like even the players can't do that.
Yeah, that's what the dating apps and dating coaches sell that.
Man, they need to stop, man. These dudes might get like a little attention and the women might laugh at them because it's funny or some shit. But they ain't fucking out every last one of them women every time they get a laugh or some shit. That's first base. We already know that shit. Just because you get to first base don't mean the draws is dropping.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah. Most dating coaches will tell you 3% is hit rate. You get 3%, you should be a happy man. 3 out of 100.
Man, I could never get to 100, bro. I'm always all of a sudden, man. Next thing you know, motherfucker want to be my girl. I don't want somebody just fucking the shit out of me and leaving me. And she looking cute as the motherfucker. I'm like, well, boo, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go and spend some time with you, you know. Next thing you know, boy, that realness come out, boy. It's like, God damn, I thought she was cool, man. This motherfucker straight asshole.
Yeah, you got to go back out there and start pitching again.
That's what they say, return of the Mac.
Return of the
Mac. Oh, my God. Anyway, man, be peaceful, man. Y'all have a good one, man. I'll holler at y'all later.
All right, Doc.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right. Peace out.
Peace.